I believe that the reason God created man was for management.
Really? I have never heard it put that way.
The first thing is to be honest with yourself. You can never have an impact on society if you have not changed yourself.
God will never allow growth where there is no management.
Wow, wow, wow.
So instead of praying for things from God, pray for the management ability.
Everything I tell you is true. Everything I open my mouth and I say is correct because heaven directs me on what to say. Eligwe, heaven will tell me and I will tell you it will come to pass in front of your eyes. Not behind you, you will see it happening.
God will withhold things from you if you cannot manage them.
When you look at the facts that something around 1 million people perished as a result of the actions of the British and Russian and Nigerian federal governments.
Vis-a-vis what we see in Nigeria, which is truly not, it should not be surprising. Look, what's happening in Nigeria is barbarous. It's horrible. I mean, it's complete madness, yet it's not a priority. The United States unilaterally could do almost anything it needs to do. It would be a long-term effort, but it could be done. And the United States has the capability. All the elements of power, we have those.
So why not?
It's not a priority. That's the problem. We are committed elsewhere in the world. Black West Africa is not a priority.
Anybody who changes his principles depending on whom he is dealing, that is not a man who can lead a nation.
No way. When the time comes, it's okay. What stupid country is this? So when it's this, you try somebody's secret? When you like, you try a secret? When you like, it's in public? What stupid country is that? What stupid country is that, I ask you? When you like, you try in secret. When you like, you try in private. They are killing my people. They are killing my people. They are killing IPOBs. They are killing my people. After killing my people, you tell me what to tell in secret? The person is mad. Completely mad. Tell Buhari, that's what I said. That he is mad. He cannot tell me. He cannot tell me. He's a madman. There's a contempt of court proceedings here. Contempt of court. They don't obey court order. They don't obey court order. You're telling me secret trial. Is the person mad?
I, Nnamdi Kanu, will sacrifice anything sacrificable to make sure that Biafra comes.
We hereby declare no election, no 2023 general election in Biafra land. This no election in Biafra land has been activated. We are going to make it a task that must be done by every Biafran. All measures will be put in place to make sure the adequate civil disobedience is implemented to stop the election in Biafra land.
meaning of discovery. It means to bring to light something that is buried on the ground. If you can accept that, then you know that Biafra is coming. There is nothing man can do about it. It's too late. Way, way too late. The countdown has begun.
Hello, everyone. Good day to you, wherever you're watching from. It's my pleasure to be here again and to serve you here, and at the same time be your host live on Biafra Global Network. Today, on the 20th day of April, today is Thursday, of course, the 20th day of April 2023. I want to welcome you to this live broadcast on Biafra Global Network. My name is Kelechi Ambrose, and I'm your host today. And of course, we're going to have, it's going to be a great time today because we're going to be talking extensively regarding some very, very basic things that concerns us all and that, connects to our interest and all of that. But before we go on, I would like to say, please share this broadcast on all your social media platforms, wherever you are, on all social media platforms you belong, so that the people can be sensitized. The people can continue to hear the truth and to get the narrative of the truth, and so that we can keep the world in the know of what we are doing, and of course of what the truth is all about. Now we are building a nation that is going to be set on truth, that is going to be continually strengthened by the gospel of truth, of which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself represents, and of which is the reason why he is stuck and he's kept in the DSS dungeon. And that is why we have come to make sure that we keep the legacy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on, and we shall not fail him. That prophecy he made, that he will not fail us, but we shall fail him. We have said, no, we are not going to fulfill that prophecy. We are going to make sure that we will not fail him. And so we have come very ruggedly and very determined to sustain the truth and to propagate it, because it is only the gospel of truth that will set us free. With this, now I want to welcome you to the program. Today is going to be an exclusive interview with Pastor Emeka Livingstone. Of course, he's already in the studio. And of course, we have I have my other comrades here. Fact News is here, and Comrade Ben and Ken Nachuku is here also. And together we shall be doing this, of course, we shall be doing this together today. And of course, I assure you that it's going to be very interesting. But before we go on, before I bring them on, I want to remind us of what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said. It is very, very important we keep sensitizing ourselves and remind ourselves of what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said to us, and so that we can continue to know that we can continue to access ourselves and to assess ourselves, and to know if we are still on the path of truth and justice, and we are still following Mazi Nnamdi Kanu according to the plan of Elohim. Now watch this briefly, and then we shall begin in earnest.
Because what I am saying, Honorable Manyamini, our people are lame. They are weak. I am struggling to count how many men there are in Biafra land. There are no more men left. Weak, docile, and imbecilic. Weak. I don't know how we can take such people to war. I don't know how we can take men who are not men into battle and win. I am ashamed. Very, very ashamed. Nonetheless, we must preach this very gospel, because man did not ask us to come. Chukwa Biama in heaven mandated that we should come. If not, that I was called to do this very work, I will not speak to any of you anymore. But Chukwa Biama said this very gospel must be preached, and we must preach it. I have prayed since yesterday up until now. My request is very simple. The same prayer I made in secret, I will make out here in the open. Chukwa Biama Biko, Since it is your intention that your kingdom will be restored upon this very earth, I need men. I need men. I did not say boys. I said I need men. Those of them that you created to restore your kingdom, they should come forward now, not tomorrow, not next year. You must bring them now. I did not say tomorrow. Because they...
That is the prayer Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made, and today we are here. And I know you are also part of those men that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu prayed that should be part of this. Without wasting time, I'm going to be bringing our comrades here live on the program. Before I bring our special guest, Pastor Livingstone, here as we interview him, I bring, of course, my comrade here, Fact News is here, the Fact News. Thank you so much. And of course, I have my comrade here, Ken Nachiku. Thank you so much, comrade. I welcome you. Please, 1 minute each. Let's just say hello to Biafrans, and then we bring in Pastor Livingstone, and then we carry on in the interview of Pastor Livingstone. Please, Fact News, please, can you say hello to Biafrans right now, just for 1 minute?
Hello to Biafrans. Good evening, depending on your time zone. We welcome you all in this special broadcast. Thank you. Stay tuned and listen to the voice of truth. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. For those of you who are greeting here on the comment section, I thank you, Mr. Chibog, and all of that. Thank you so much for joining. And Ken, please say hello to Biafrans in 1 minute, and then we roll from here.
Yeah, I'm saying good evening to all Biafrans, my fellow comrades, and as we have been doing, we are back again today to make some exposition on how to make Biafrans to know that things have went wrong, and that in this struggle, things have fallen apart. So I greet everybody, and I say all should stay tuned, listen, and analyze wisely what we are talking about today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You're looking very different today. Very, 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 very different today. Very cool. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And without wasting time, we're going to bring Pastor Livingstone live, because we're going to be talking to him today. So, and we all will be anchoring this together. And as we throw the questions to him so that he can explain to Biafrans and give Biafrans the full details of everything they need to know about what concerns the acclaimed and purported Biafra Republic government in exile house. And that has been a controversy. So thank you so much, Pastor Livingstone. You are welcome to the program live. And let me delete the other one so that we can have one. Because you're okay now. And thank you so much, Pastor. You're welcome. And we appreciate you for joining. And we say thank you for honoring this invitation to be here today. In spite of your schedule, you have decided to be here today. Thank you so much, Pastor. We appreciate you. And I know that today you're going to actually let Biafrans know the facts and open the eyes of the people to understand basically what they should know. Because our interest here is to make sure that we set the record straight and make people see the facts and the truth, because we cannot build Biafra on the template of lies. Thank you so much, Pastor, for joining. Please, can you say hello to us just for 1 minute? We go on with the questions and all of that.
Hello, Biafrans. Just a second.
Okay. Yeah, well, as we wait for him to come, please, I want you. Okay, he's here already. All right, Pastor, please go on.
Hello, Biafrans.
There's an echo. You have that feedback because of, I think you pressed something there that is making you appear 2 times. So, okay, you can go on now, please.
Can you see me now?
Yes, loud and clear. We can see you.
So that means Biafrans are seeing me, right?
Yes, very well. We can see you.
Okay. Hello, Biafrans. God bless you. I am very happy to be here today. Yesterday, I was having a program and I was asked to hold it, so that I will have this program today. And I had to oblige, because we work as a team, respecting each other, because every Biafra counts in this program. So God bless you, and I pray that the Lord will help us unravel everything you want to know today. In Jesus' name, amen. Shalom.
Amen. Thank you so much, Pastor. I'm going to throw the first question before my comrades here begin to, give you some other questions that you need to respond. First, I want us to make it very clear here, so that Biafrans will understand that we are here not because of malice, not because of envy, not because of all those narrative that we always want to use to suppress the truth. We're not here for all those nonsense and those narratives to suppress the truth. We are here to put the record straight as it operates all over the nations of the world, where people are judged and govern themselves with the concept of truth in spite of who is involved. We're here. Now, in your own words, I want you to tell Biafrans, why was it necessary for us to conduct this particular investigation on this purported or this acclaimed Biafra house?
Oh, thank you. Along the line, as we worked together with Simon, we realized that something was going wrong and people were being misinformed. And activities that were said to be going on were not necessarily going on. What we're always seeing was just a show, a projection, but nothing was real on ground. So when this project came up, there were two reasons why we went there. The first one was to know if this one is another white elephant promise or is true. That's number one. Then number two, if it is true, it could make us change our minds and say, okay, maybe things are being corrected. So let us have a rethink. That was the reason.
All right, thank you, Pastor. Let me see. Comrade Ken, you have the questions to throw now to Pastor Livingstone, and then Fact News will do that also, and then I can continue from there.
Yeah, Pastor, we have heard you, and but for we Biafrans, you take a step to make an investigation to know if what we had is true. But when you get there and you found out that what we had or what we saw is not what is supposed to be, so why did you decide to make more investigation about it? Are you trying to tell us that Simon Ekpa is scamming the Biafrans? This is just my first question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, when I went, I had earlier on called that company to find out if such a thing exists. And incidentally, it was on a Saturday. So it went to a voicemail or answering machine. And I did the same thing on Sunday. It's the same. So I decided to go there and check it out. Now, after I checked it out and reported, comments started flying all up and down. You should have gone ahead to check and prove. For me, I was done with that info. I was to end it there. But when comments started coming, did you make investigation? Did you call the people first to find out if truly it was acquired? You're being stupid and foolish. You made mistakes. I had to go the second day to meet with the people. And of course,
let me grab this clarity. You made a call on Saturday.
I made a call on Saturday. It went to a voice answering machine that said, it gave me three extensions. You see that phone number that was written in the banner?
Yes.
I dialed the number and it gave me 3 extensions. The first one, his name is Chris. And the extension, I think, is 108. The second one is a lady. The extension is 102. The third one is a man. I don't know his name. His extension is 109. I can't remember his name. So either of them had that extension, but the first one was that of Chris. That was the one I picked. So when I dialed the extension, the machine took me into his personal phone, according to the instruction there. And the response was, hey, I'm Chris. I'm sorry I'm not available now. If you can just leave a message, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So I dropped a message. Then I did the same on Sunday, hoping that the extension can take me into his personal line and maybe we'll talk. It was the same answer. So I let it go. Now, because the people have, were talking that this man is stupid. He did not, first of all, call by phone. When I went there, what I saw was enough evidence, but they wanted more, especially those that were against.
Now, what I want to get clear here is this: that call you made on Saturday and Sunday morning was pre-going to that place. That means you made those calls before you went there.
Yes, before I went there, I made the call on Saturday and on Sunday in the morning before I went there. In fact, I think as I was going there, if I'm not mistaken, before I went, again, that Sunday, I think I called 2 times or once. But I definitely called on Saturday 2 times. I called on Sunday before I went.
Okay.
Those 2 days I made calls.
Okay, so what happened when you went on Monday? Because you started receiving messages coming from everywhere, abuses, abuses and all of that. And then you had to go on Monday. Yes, so you had to go on Monday. And then what happened on Monday?
When I drove to the facility on Monday, I had called Surunadi telling him I'm getting to the facility to go and know what's going on. He said, okay, he'll meet me there. So when I reached, because Simon had earlier on said that I trespassed into their property, I just wanted to keep the record straight. I parked my car in the next building and then picked my phone to call the man. His call just came in as I was about dialing him. So when a call came in, I said, let me pick the call. I picked the call. It turned out to be the man. He said, hey, I'm Chris. I'm just returning your call. I said, oh, thank you so much, sir. I'm very grateful you did that. My name is Emeka Livingstone. He said, yes. He said, well, what can I do for you? Should I go further? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Please, yes, you can go. Yes, okay. Continue.
So he asked me, what can I do for you? I said, sir, my name is Emeka Livingstone. I had called you earlier on. He said, yes. Like I told him, I'm just returning the call. I said, thank you. That he asked me, how are you today? I said, fine. He said, your family? I said, my family is good. And yours? He said, this is good too. He's a very nice guy, very cordial. So I said, sir, I was here. I called you on Saturday because one of our leaders made a declaration in the internet, in the social media platform, that we have acquired your property to house our office of the Biafran Republic government in exile. He said, acquired what? I said, we have acquired the property. He said, acquired which property? I said, oh, sorry, sir. Maybe I made a mistake. We acquired a shoot there. He said, what did you say is the name of your organization again? I said, Biafran government, Biafran Republic government in exile. He said, no, that there's nothing like any organization acquiring a property or renting any of the suites. I said, no, sir. I know what I'm talking about. I said, we acquired shoot 2. Why did I mention shoot 2? Because after that publication, Simon Ekpa made a comment that it is shoot 2. I saw that on internet. I said, it is shoot 2. He said shoot 2. I said,
yes, he actually had that on the letter he said he sent to United Nations, and the one he used in publicizing the 29th May sham sit at home, of course, which cannot we can sit at home on our celebration day. So he actually had that. Shoot 2 was the address he put in there. So please go on.
So I told the man that it's in shoot 2. The man said, no organization acquired shoot 2. That shoot 2 has an occupant. I said, really? He said, yes. I said, excuse me, sir. The occupant of shoot 2, is he a man, a black man, or a colored person? He said, none of the above. I said, are you serious? He said, yes, that I can go and check. I said, are you asking me that I have authorization to go to the property? And he said, go and knock at the door. The man is there. He will answer you. That shoot, that look into the banner. It is written there, lease. That means this structure has been completed. It's on lease, and people have taken their own. There's a man in shoot 2 that he has taken the shoot and is living there right now. I said, sir, that I parked my car outside the premises because I felt maybe entering into these premises that may have been acquired, it will be trespassing. He said, no. That the premises is a commercial place and it has parking lot. Park your vehicle in the parking lot, go to shoot and knock. So I took my vehicle, drove around, went there, parked it at the parking lot behind the building this time. The previous day was in the front. Then Sorunade presently had come in. I thought, no, okay, while I was discussing with the man, I asked the man, said, now while you are talking, would you mind if I put somebody online, let him hear me? Because I am here representing our people, Biafrans. That where we come from, they rape our women and our girls, kill our men, burn down our houses. We are looking for self-determination, a referendum to give us the opportunity to have our own nation. He said, that's painful. He kind of sympathized with me. So I said, that's the reason why we are getting this thing. So I need to, since I live very close to Bel Air, that I live in Maryland here. So I drove over to this place to come and see things for myself and then pass the information to our people that of a truth, we have something that we have acquired for our international headquarters. So can I call somebody on phone to be online, add him up, so I let him hear what you're saying to be sure that I came here? He said, no, that right now he's busy, he wants to go out, he doesn't have time. I said, okay, if you're going out, can I wait on you to come from the office to the office? I'll be here waiting. He said, no, it's not going to be to the office today. That is going to be out till the next week. The next week, be out throughout the whole week. Then I said, then what do I do? So I should go and see that man. That what you are saying now is that this suite 2 has been occupied by an occupant and is living there. He said yes. Then he added that even the landlord of this facility lives in that building. I said, really? He said, you can go and meet the landlord and ask him. I said, okay. Let me go and check on the man on suite 2. That we need to clear certain things that are not, that are fuzzy or fuzzy in our eyes in respect to the acquisition of this property, either on lease or whatever. Then he said, okay, you know what? I said, no. He said he will go himself and talk with the landlord, that they are the ones in charge. They are company.
Pastor, can I just add something to this very question you are answering now? So our people are too daft.
Yeah.
So that means the landlord is living in that very building.
Exactly. Right? That's what the man told me.
Yeah. Okay. Our people may be thinking landlord is the one who rents house. So the people you spoke with are the agent who are in charge of the building to rent it out.
These are the people that company you saw there, which name appeared in the banner.
Okay, this is just what I want to clarify, that our people understand, because before you know it, they will start telling you, oh, he went and talked to somebody else and not the landlord. So they should know now that a landlord of a house in diaspora where we live don't rent his house on his own. It's always been given to companies that rent them out.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. You can move on.
So he said that they are the ones.
And again, Pastor, before you go on, I also let me clarify, because so that people understand. When a landlord has a contract with an agent to rent the house, even if when somebody contacts the landlord, he will direct them to the agent.
Exactly. Especially the foreign people, Europeans or the white people who keep to rules, who stick to rules.
Yes.
It is maybe in Nigeria, the landlord might decide to take it and then settle the agent. But in overseas here, you don't do it, because if you do it, the agent can sue you to court. Because you gave him the contract to handle and you want to tarnish his reputation and spoil his business. Because after that, there must be a review and he would like 5 stars. So when he told me the landlord was living there, now I said, okay, I'll go and check. He said, but wait a minute. He said, okay, don't worry. He's going to talk to the landlord and get back to me, but I am free to go to that shoot too. That man should be able to tell me all I want to know in respect to that shoot that the man rented it. So I went to Sorunadi, put my camera on approaching the shoot. Now the shoot 2 is located by the side of the building where the small road is. That road is a one-way traffic. So it's located at the side of the building. And it is, I didn't know that that place was seen as basement. For me, I thought that it's an office in normal place where you walk in. The Sorunadi was making me understand, once you step down from the building that is on top, going down to the building below, it is qualified to be a basement in that condition, where there's no basement below. So we went straight into that place. It's a narrow entrance that can accommodate maybe 2 persons walking side by side. Then when we reached, there was a bag, a paper bag put there that contains dog food. So at looking closely at the paper bag, I saw that somebody had been there earlier on to give a delivery of dog food. And since that man was not around, there was a little note dropped there attached to the bag. So we now realized that somebody had been there earlier, maybe had knocked, and the owner either didn't open because he was still sleeping or had gone out to work. So we realize now that suite 2 is being occupied already, and the owner lives there with his dog because the man said he's a man. And now we went round and back to where we came from and realized that the only empty places there now were suite 3 and suite 4. And suite 4 is the place where the banner of Biafran flag was superimposed on where the banner of the company was supposed to be. And then, and then at the top of the building, where there is something like a penthouse, you see the Biafran coat of arms at something above the window. Then by the corner of the top side of the building, there's another coat of arms. Now, when you look
let me clarify that all these things you're mentioning now were the Photoshop images put by Simon.
Those were the Photoshop images.
Yes. They are not there. They are not actually there.
No. They were not there when we went. When we went there, what we saw was the original banner as placed there by the company where Simon had done the Photoshop. That was why I said Photoshop. People thought when I was saying Photoshop, I meant that the house didn't exist. No, the Photoshop I was meaning there was the banner that was put to tell us that we have acquired a place. That was a Photoshop. The place is there quite all right, but we've not acquired it because the banner was used to replace the banner of the company. And in the Photoshop, they put the insignia of the Biafran coat of arms 2 places. One at the top of the window and the other one at the extreme end of the top part of the house.
All right. So now, when you got there, at this point in time, when you discover that suite 3 and suite 4 are empty, now, of course, the man told you that these 3 and 4 have not been acquired by anybody.
Exactly.
Yes. And then he gave you that clarification that's not acquired by anybody.
Yes.
Now, did he threaten you?
No.
Being in the compound? Or did anybody come to you or say they're going to arrest you? Because Simon made us understand that he actually called them and told them, begging them not to arrest you.
Kelechi, if you understand Simon very well, he plays to the gallery, taking advantage of the psyche of those that follow him, that they see him as the solution to all their problems. So whatever he tells them, they buy and they swallow it hook, line, and sinker. That's the point. The man that I discussed with, his name is Chris. In fact, he's a very nice guy. I called him 2 times. After that day, I called him the following day. He was very polite and told me that, hey, that the other guy, he told his colleague to call me, that the colleague said he called me, didn't get me. I said, oh, I'm sorry. So I took my phone and looked through. I said, what are the last 4 digits of your colleague's phone number? He told me. When I looked through my phone, I saw that there were no calls, unanswered or answered calls, nothing like that. And there was none of those last 4 digits attached to any of the calls that were in my phone. So I told him, I said, sir, your friend didn't call me. He said he called me, he didn't. So I told him, can you please give me the man's phone number? Let me call him. He said, fine, he's going to do that. So he gave it to me. So as I took my phone, incidentally, again, this is another coincidence. As I took my phone and was about dialing the man, or I had dialed him, I suppose, his own phone came in, his own call came in first, and then superimposed itself upon my own call that I dialed out. So I had to answer his call. So invariably, it was the man that called me. So when he called me, I picked the call, I greeted him. And he said, yes, that, how can he help me? I said, sir, that I came here in respect to an acquisition my organization made. We are the people of the Biafran Republic government in exile. And one of our leaders said he has acquired your property for our office. He said, which leader is that? I said, he's the prime minister. He said, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, no, sir, I just want to, find out, because we are having problems in Nigeria. We are under pressure. The Muslims are killing us and we don't like it. They're raping our women, all those stories we tell. He said that he cannot give me any information. I said, okay, sir, can you please tell me if we have acquired this property? He said, if you want to know, go and ask your prime minister. Go and ask your prime minister. You should call him, he should tell you. That was what he said. So I was with Soronadi when he said that. Soronadi told me, leave him alone. He doesn't want to respond. So we let him alone. Then I now gave the number of Chris to Prince to call him. That since Prince lives in North Carolina, I should call Chris and said, and say, we have sent one of our men, Livingstone, he must have met you, and then see whether I can ask him further questions. So Prince said when he called the man replied him in a very polite form, say, I'm sorry, sir, I'm in a meeting right now. I'm going to talk to you when I'm done with the meeting. So the man was very friendly, very nice. Nobody threatened me. The second person, when I told him, I said, excuse me, sir, I just want to find out if we acquired or paid for any of the property you have here. He said he's not giving me that privilege information. He doesn't have the privilege to give me that information. Then the next thing he said was, and I also do not give you any privilege to enter into the facility. Now, we never requested entering. We have been there before. And our cars were already parked into the facility. Though, so because I'd had permission from Mr. Chris, who said it's a public place, go to the parking lot, park your thing and make your inquiry. Because I could, for all he knows, I could be coming there to rent an apartment. So that man said, and I'm not giving you any opportunity to enter the facility. That was when Soronadi told me, you see, something has gone underground. That these guys may have contacted this man. You didn't ask him anything and he's already talking about you not entering. Now, but we never asked him that we want to enter the facility. No, he just said, if you want to know who has rented that place, ask your prime minister. And I'm not asking you to enter into the facility. That was what he said.
Okay. Now you give us a vivid explanation that Chris said that building was not, it was not bought over or acquired by anybody.
No.
Simon has initially given us an impression that that is Biafra House. That means,
of course, if you look at Biafra, when you talk about Biafra House, you are talking about the whole building. And if you look at the way he strategically placed the Biafran banner and the coat of arms, it showed that the top and bottom were being occupied by the Biafran people, because that is where the coat of arms is supposed to be. Now, incidentally, that penthouse where the coat of arms will be placed, I suspect, because there is a step leading to it, I suspect it could be the apartment which the owner lives in. Do you understand me? Because that man told me that the owner of the building lives there. Now, 3 was vacant, 4 was vacant. 2 had been taken, 1 had been taken. And the one that had been taken has the insignia of a construction company, I think so, or an electronics company, something like that, a technical company. So that one on top, they usually, even in Nigeria, if the landlord lives in a building, like a 3-story building, usually lives at the penthouse if it has one. So when someone put that thing on top of that place, it showed that they had taken both the top. That's why I was laughing, because whoever told him to do that never made good investigation very, very well, so as to cover his tracks, as to tell someone, no, don't put it there. That landlord lives there, so that people don't think that you have acquired the whole place. That would have been a wise thing to do. But because I'm not sure that person did his homework well, so they just got this thing from Google. And in Google, they give you the dimension and everything, the information, based on what was captured and fed into the Google. So after you are fed into the Google today, and tomorrow somebody packs in, the Google does not show the person that packed in that the place is being taken. So the Google will tell you the whole system that it is empty. Now, that is where their mistake must have come from, because they looked at it and then put that insignia at that penthouse. And the assumption is that the base place where Suite 4 has been taken. Let's assume that it is not the whole building. Let's try and give them a little leverage. Let's assume it's not the whole building, that it's in Suite 4. When we went there, Suite 4 was empty. And the place where they put the insignia is living quarters. That is what I suppose it was, because that man said the landlord of the building lives there.
So, but the so-called photoshopped banner, banner was put. The Photoshop Biafra banner was put in front of Suite 3 and Suite 4, whereas Suite 2 is at the corner.
Exactly.
Corner of that one-way road.
Exactly. The Photoshop banner was superimposed in the internet.
Yes.
On the actual banner that the building had.
Yes.
And so that was what they did. It was superimposed on that particular banner.
Pastor Livingstone, I have some questions that are being thrown to me here. Mr. Kelechi, let me implore this question. There is a website which is Biafra Republic Government in Exile that has been hosted by Autopilot. And then it has the address 7200 Bela Road, Suite 2, Baltimore, MD 21206.
Yeah.
Then the info at biafrarepublicgovernment.org. I have checked the site is active. And then the address also has been in all the publications, and then in some memo that has been released that it was written to the United Nations. And then the question is this. You said that Suite 2 is occupied. Why then the whole publication we see have Suite 2? Thank you.
When I went there, I went to Shirunadi. I have a video upload. I suppose I wanted to bring out yesterday. You guys said I shouldn't bring it out. I suppose you have it. The video upload will tell you more. That publication indicating that it was in Suite 2, that publication is in error, is a lie. Because I went to the Suite 2, the man, Mr. Chris, told me himself, while speaking to me over the phone, that Suite 2 is occupied already by a tenant who lives there. And on getting closer, we discovered that there was a dog food at the base of the door, which showed that the man lives with a dog. There was a note put to the man. In fact, the following day, when we came back to that place, because the man said the guy that lives in that Suite 2 does either mechanic or body work in one of the motor stores around. So we wanted to meet with the guy and find out from him, I mean, if that place was rented for him or by the Biafran government, and why is he living there? So we checked on 2 places, we couldn't find, we decided to go. So by the time we came there the following day, the dog food had been removed, and the paper, the plastic basket, no, the paper basket that has the dog food was set aside empty. So that Suite 2 has already been occupied. It is not the, and listen, let me tell you, for the questions you have asked, the place where the banner was positioned is Suite 4. The information given is Suite 2. That's confusing because Suite 2 is by the corner of the house.
Yeah, Livingstone.
Part of the building.
Livingstone. We are here today to really make the Biafrans understand what is going on with this very name, the Republic of Biafran Republic Government in Exile. This is why we are here today. So what I'm trying to say, you know, I'm also a little bit confused because, you know, in America, most of the American governments and their leaders, they always have dog. I don't know if our prime minister have a dog. You know, I don't know if you people make this inquiry to know if Simon Ekpa have a dog. You understand?
Right.
Or
is it the dog that he owns in America while living in Finland?
This is just what I'm trying to ask.
So I'm throwing the question. I'm throwing the question back to you.
Now, so you can carry on, please.
Pastor,
thank you.
You see.
So in effect, Suite 2 already had an occupant. It's not been occupied. In fact, Mr. Chris himself told me that Suite 2 is not being owned by the Biafran Republic government in Exile. It is owned by an individual who is, I think, either a mechanic or a body shop worker that works around that area. That's what he told me. In fact, the one on top, the next day when we came, I saw a white guy who was about driving out. I asked him, do you live around here? He said, yes. I said, I'm making inquiries concerning this place. I need one of the suits. He said, okay. One of the guys that live here, he lives at the Suite 1. He pointed it. He said he drives a truck, but it's not around now. Whenever his trucks are always there in the evening. When he comes back home in the evening, you see his truck that is parked. So I gave the guy my number. I said, could you please tell him to call me? I'm interested in getting one of the suits. So my phone rang 2 times. I didn't pick because it didn't occur to me to pick it because I felt maybe you know, people can always call you on phone. If their name didn't appear, I hardly pick it. So it was later on I realized that, oh my God, I should have picked it to get information, and I can't call back unless I, you know, happen to go there suddenly. So Suite 2 is already occupied, and the place where if the banner had been placed in Suite 2, and you say it's occupied, you can say, okay, the banner is placed in Suite 2, it's occupied because the occupant there may have been put there by the Biafran people. No, the banner was placed in Suite 4 at the front of the road, and that is the right place which the banner of a government in exile office should be. So the man that took the Suite 2 took that Suite 2 in a place that is hidden, that makes it private for him. So the information in the internet, look at the problem there. If the United Nations, if at all he wrote to United Nations, and he did, of course, maybe, I don't know, decide to write a letter in reply, or they send any of their representatives, if they come to, they'll come to find the place occupied by another individual, if at all the person is there. So if it is not there, they'll come and find a locked place. Nobody's there. Do you understand me? So the information is wrong.
So now the critical thing here is because we're looking at integrity here, and especially when it has to do with a nation. Now, you talked with a man, he said no nation, no Biafra government in exile, or no company actually paid for that building.
No organization paid for the building, the whole building. Nothing like that. And how can they pay in any ways? They themselves leased out Suite 2 to somebody, and he told me that their tenant is one of the person that they leased the thing to, and yes, that place is still on lease. That's what the man said. It is still on lease. That is 3 and 4 is still on lease, and they were in charge. They are the ones that give people the facility to rent whatever portion.
Now I want us to look at the implication of this on a nation, especially a nation that is struggling or fighting to get its independence. Now, before you speak, Pastor Livingstone, because we're going to look critically on implication, because implication on the people, implication on the nation, implication of what this means to the international community, and of course, in the implication on what the people are envisaging their nation should look like. But before you speak on that, I'm going to call on Prince. Prince Ezem is here already, and I'm going to say, please, Prince, you're welcome, sir. Just with 5 minutes, let's hear you talk about the implication first, before Pastor Emeka now would also take it up from there, please.
All glory to Chukwokike. All glory to God for this day. All glory to Him for our lives. I thank God you gave me 5 minutes, and I'm timing myself here from here. So I'm going to make sure I do not go beyond 5 minutes. And then I would have said what I wanted to say and then look at the implication. I'm addressing Nigerians' thick heads, because I can assure you, it doesn't matter the name they bear, whether it is Igbo or whether they tell you they are Biafrans. As far as they don't know what is happening here, they are Nigerians, because Nigerians struggle with understanding. They can't understand anything. They can't reason properly. First of all, I want to commend Pastor Emeka Livingstone.
Thank you.
Our brother Soronadi, as a genuine Biafran. And I know that all Biafrans are in agreement with what I'm going to say now. Every genuine Biafran owes it to Pastor Emeka Livingstone as a Biafran, and so Soronadi as a Biafran, to go and pay a leg visit to a public house bought with public money for Biafrans, to go and verify and be sure that they can tell all Biafrans that, yes, this house is real. This house belongs to Biafrans. Why I'm saying that is because anyone who thinks that a Biafran can trespass on Biafran property has no human brain operational in their skull. Any human being who ever thinks for a moment that a Biafran can trespass in an area that belongs to Biafra, that person is the worst of all animals in the animal kingdom. I just wanted to rest that side and say, well done, Pastor Livingstone, and well done, Suronadi, for doing that legwork for and on behalf of genuine Biafrans. I want to move on from there to ask all those who believe they have a prime minister, all those who believe they have a Biafran prime minister. I want to say, you have gone from all the trickery, all the scam, all the foolishness, all the gambling of 150 days to Biafra, which was not real. You have gone from there to there will be no election in Biafra land because of what we have on the ground, when there was nothing on the ground. You have gone from there to all the deadlines that were given on when Mazin Nandekan will be released or else heaven will fall. All the deadlines given for the military to vacate from our land or else heaven will fall. All those silly deadlines that meant nothing, to a level where you are told you have a government and the first project the government presents to you is fake, is a fluke, is fraud. Okay, you are there now, and now all we are hearing, because they have been busted, is that being that Pastor Livingstone, a Biafran, had stepped foot there, they are no longer going to use that place as the house. So that means whatever money they have paid and whatever agreements they have signed are null and void. And it also means that wherever they obtain right now, if for argument's sake they obtain somewhere, any Biafran, especially if they happen to be Pastor Livingstone, that steps their foot there, that place will be cancelled as well, until they find somewhere where Mecca Livingstone would never reach.
I think that should be mass.
Yes, and that will be the only place where the Biafran house in exile will be located, where a Mecca Livingstone, who is not a Biafran, cannot reach. He must not reach there, otherwise that house will be nullified. This is the silly, mad, juvenile mediocrity nonsense that Biafrans, not Biafrans, Nigerians with their foolish head have been subjected to. Now, I am now saying that the worst implication on all these things is that as these silly games are being played, Nnamdi Kanu is suffering. Nnamdi Kanu is become a game for these idiots who are playing all these games. Don't forget, they are now telling you how ill he is. Don't forget, they are telling you how the whole thing has become ominous. They haven't told us what is ominous. Now, genuine Biafrans, I'm calling on all of you now to wake up and open your eyes. Because for me to be here, for Pastor Emeka Livingstone to be here, for our brother Ken Shuku to be here, for our brother Kelechi Ambrose to be here, we are not here for those jokes. We are not here to play games. We are here because we know that no matter what befalls, no matter what the devil throws in our way in the name of Simon Ekpa, we must defeat it, because Biafra is guaranteed to come. A few hours ago, I was querying whether this is doable. But before I knew it, God brought the vision again to say, look, it has to seem impossible for God to make it possible. It had to seem impossible for it to be impossible for any man to take the glory from God. So let me tell you, in spite of all the implications that we might envisage, Biafra is here. Let me reassure every Biafra that we are not here in vain, because Nnamdi Kanu also told you that it doesn't matter what they do, nothing will stop Biafra from coming, because Elohim has guaranteed Biafra to come. And nothing on this earth can prevent Biafra from coming. I thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. And I would want to, because I know Pastor Emeka is waiting, you know, but I want to ask you one more question. Now, with all of these shenanigans, manipulation, and critical evil design, devious diabolic strategy being adopted to manipulate Biafrans and to make sure that the people continue in self-destruction, what is the implication of this first project of lies? And what is the implication of this on the whole concept of the freedom and the life of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu?
The implication is huge. And I'm so happy that their first outing as whatever they call themselves, prime minister and whatever government they have assigned to themselves, their first project represented their foundation. And I am not the one to educate you on what faulty foundation can do to any building. That in itself tells you the huge implication on this whole thing. But in fact, instead of going deep into those implications, especially how this thing has now become the highest and worst threat on Nnamdi Kanu's life, I want you to know that this whole thing Simon is doing is, I have seen it, it is the last hurdle, the very last hurdle that Biafrans must have to overcome. And I can tell you, after this hurdle, you will see Biafra manifest. I need you to know that, as bad as it is in terms of implications, okay, to be quite honest with you, this is the last hurdle I can see standing in the way of Biafra. Because what Simon Ekpa has done is now gang up the whole evil Nigerians. Look at how many they are. Look at how many they are. Simon Ekpa has managed to gang them all up against the few true Biafrans. That's why the risks are so huge in terms of threat, the height of threat to Nnamdi Kanu's life. The total disarray and the total dysfunction, the total annihilation of the Biafran project. That is how huge it is. But I want you to know that that is the height of impossibility confronting Biafra. In terms of implication, that is what it is. This is the very height of that whole block for Biafra. And that is the height that God wants to show us how he alone will use the fear of us to dismantle. I need you to understand what I'm telling you now. This is the last hurdle. That's why the whole Nigerians, even those who were against Simon Ekpa, because now they know that Simon is only there playing games. Now they are now in support of Simon Ekpa. All of them. That's why it is too huge to describe. The implications are vast. You can't even summarize it. It's too much. This is when the life of Nnamdi Kanu has become, if you thought it was at risk before, it is now that it is at risk. But I tell you, watch what God is going to do with the few you are seeing, because this is the very last hurdle to Biafra freedom.
Right.
I thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I know, Comrade Ken, you have questions you want to ask, but let me just give Pastor Livingstone these two questions to address, because I wonder why, why somebody would just decide to defraud a nation, defraud the people, and just it simply means that if Simon can go to this extent, at this time, then there is something wrong with how he began. And how he began must have been, part of that devious process that have become so much embraced by the people, by the foolishness of the people, which now makes him think that whatever thing he does now would always fly. And so now, Pastor, what is the implication in your own perspective, from your own perspective?
Yes.
This stuff has a great implication on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the Biafra project. Please, can you talk to us about it?
I will try to list a few. One, the implication of Simon's action calls to question the credibility of the whole process. Because you cannot establish anything reasonable on the foundation of lies. We are talking about the integrity of about 70 million people that comprised ordinary people, middle class, top class people, academicians, technocrats, bureaucrats, politicians, business moguls, captains of industries, movie stars, people of high academic standing, people that have honor and respect, that are scattered in all the nations of the world. At the first port of call of their having a government in exile, a headquarters of government in exile, the place turned out to be a fraud, a lie, a scam. It puts to question the credibility of the whole process. And if it is not, those who don't have understanding will say, like somebody was saying, why don't you just allow it when we get Biafra? You don't do such things because you lay a wrong foundation. That's the way the whole world will look at you and they will not take you serious. That's number one. Number two, this process shows how flawed those in charge are in the way they think and reason. And that their flawed thinking has been encouraged by the fact that Simon has a large followership by the Biafran people, which was a fallout of the total negligence of DOS to respond when they were supposed to, as at the time Onyendu was abducted and rendition. If you can recall, that time, a lot of Biafrans, it was like a blow. It was just tantamount to, let me give you a type of a scenario in heaven. Jesus is the light of God, is the express brightness of his glory, of God's glory. That's what Jesus is. So the day Jesus was crucified, the Bible says there was darkness in the whole earth. Not only in the earth, within the three, forgive me to use the word, cosmic realms of existence. Forgive me to use the word cosmic. Within the three realms of existence, in the heaven, on earth and beneath the earth, Jesus is a light. So when Jesus died, if you go and read the book of Revelation, you understand. The angels in heaven didn't have the light of God because he was dead. And that it was indicative based on the fact that on earth where he stayed, there was a period of darkness for 3 hours. And therefore the kingdom of darkness had darkness. So the angels that used to praise God over his son heard that the Son of God that was sent down on earth has been killed. And therefore the light of God was dimmed. That's why it manifested on earth. You can imagine the sadness that was in heaven. So the day Nnamdi Kanu was abducted, the whole Biafrans were sad. It was like, there's a song that they used to sing, dear harp of my country, in darkness I found thee. It shows something like that. It's an older poem I read in those days in school. The cold chains of darkness hath hung over thee. It was in darkness. So the Biafrans were traumatized. Then we began to talk to encourage the Biafrans, and Simon Ekpa came along the line. He gave the Biafrans hope. We stood by him, and he enlivened the spirits of Biafrans. So Biafrans saw the zeal that was in Simon and began to see him as a committed disciple of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That time, Simon used to say, Nnamdi Kanu needs 100, I am 50. He doesn't say that again. He has stopped the Nnamdi Kanu mantra long ago. Since he started his own. So the implication is this: Biafrans have come to see Simon as a symbol of hope. That he will either get Onyendu out, or if Onyendu dies in detention, God forbid, he becomes an alternative to hold forth for Biafrans, that they don't lose hope, that there's somebody who is fighting for them. And so when Simon, at that point, made such announcement, it was on the understanding that these people follow me like zombies. They don't ask any question. They believe that I alone can give them Biafra. How I managed to go about it, they don't know. They don't even want to ask me, is there any military strategy I have that they can contribute? They only just see me as the sole coordinator of the Biafra movement, and I can get them Biafra. So they can sleep. Of course, he told them, you can sleep in Nigeria today and wake up in Biafra the following day. So when he made that comment, he was making it based on the fact that he has seen the cultic way by which people follow him, like a movement. They trust him. That was why he could make that statement. So he took the mentality, he took the sensibility of 70 million Biafrans for a ride. That's the second implication. Now, the third one in what Simon Ekpa did was it brought the whole Biafran process into ridicule, not just questioning the credibility, it brought it into ridicule before the whole nations of the earth. At constituting his cabinet, the first project he undertook was a fraudulent one. It turned out to be a lie. And the information given was wrong. Directed the United Nations, written with the address of the house with the suit number 2, regardless of the fact that they are giving the impression they have acquired the facility. Because if they haven't acquired it, why would he say that I will be sued for trespassing? If not that the facility is acquired by him all through. If he acquired only a suit, he cannot sue me for trespassing. Because there are others that occupy the suits there, and may have been visiting somebody. So you cannot sue that person. So you see the implications there. And then number 4, not just ridiculing us before the international community. If the man that owns that house, on seeing what went on the internet concerning his house, that his house has already been sold without his knowledge, forget the fact that later on said he should too. Initially said we have acquired a facility and told them this is where the flag will be, this is where this one will be, this is where this one will be. And he said that this man is an intruder. I'm a Biafran. I have a right to go there. I'm a Biafran. Unless Simon, having excommunicated me from IPOB autopilot, he wants to excommunicate me from being a Biafran entirely. That's maximum rulership. Now, if Simon had done that, and the man looking at it and decides to take it up in America here, Biafra is going to pay a lot of money. For what? For stealing another person's property, for converting another person's property into his own, for impersonating that they are the owners of this property while they are not. So if the man should take it up. And then number 5, when he said that the agent of the company or whosoever is threatening to take me to court and is begging him, that's nonsensical. Anybody can walk into that facility. You don't even need to see anybody. Even where that thing do not enter is, how do you access the facility if you want to rent one of the suites? You have to pass through and enter. That do not enter is only making reference to those who have no business to do there. Maybe you want to go and break in and stay there. If somebody wants to rent the facility, he has to go in. Maybe if he calls him phone and they don't pick, and it's passing
or maybe those who want to use that place just to park their vehicles and go for their business.
Exactly. People can still use the parking lot to go for their business and pay a particular fee. Then
Yes,
another one is
they are trying to say that that place is meant for the business that has to do with that building. So if you are bringing your vehicle outside to park there as a parking for any other business you want to do outside, you just go there, park. It's not allowed. You know,
either you have a parking permit from the tow company that will, so if they come, they see the permit and let your car, or if you don't have it, they'll tow your car. You cannot park there. So the permit means maybe you may be asked to pay. But
I want to ask you something. I want to ask you something.
One more thing, please. One more thing.
Yeah, please go.
The next one is when the biggest ridicule of the whole thing that made me laugh and I felt so ashamed was that He's purported to have taken a phone to call. Yes. Yeah, okay. Was talking like he was making contact with the U.S. embassy. It was exactly what Brekete family did. We condemned him. He just picked his phone and was calling the Finnish embassy. Hey, I'm telling you this and that. If someone called the U.S. embassy on what basis? That he owns the property, or Biafran government, Republican government, Exile owns the property? Doesn't he understand that the Americans are very smart people? If you say that is yours and they ask you what is the name of the organization, you tell them, what is the number? They can go into the internet to find out if you own it. And if they understand that you don't own, they go to the system. Your name is not there. Don't you know you're stealing? That you can implicate yourself to the Americans? Yeah. So when he put that phone call to make, I doubt if he ever called anybody. But in the manner in which
there was nobody there.
In the manner in which Nigerians, that's what Prince called them. Prince does not call them Biafrans. Those Nigerians that follow him in their manner, they believe, hey, now what can I do too much? We just pick a phone for US embassy now. This guy, this is to show you how shallow your mentality is. That he has understood, all of you that follow him, that you don't have the capacity to think. You are just following. And therefore, whatever he says, you swallow. So as it is, if Simon comes out now and tells you that your wife is a sabo, divorce her, that's done for your marriage. Or your husband is a sabo, divorce her, is done for your marriage.
You see, one interesting thing, before Prince says something, Pastor, please, you're going to continue. Before Prince says something now, I know Comrade Ken has a question to ask, but I just want to say, now you see when you begin to find those ones who have been against you, supporting you, then you know that somewhere or somehow you have compromised. Now we see those green, white, green, and we see them. I've been observing that. I've been to observe those green, white, green who actually upholding the DOS members and fronting and supporting them now, who have been against Simon and all of that. I now see that some of them begin to comment and applaud Simon, and that means there's a compromise somewhere, anyways, that we have to look at critically. And of course, that's by the way, anyways. Prince, please, you want to say something, and so that then Ken will now ask the question he has in mind. So please go on.
Yes, thank you so much for that. I even though it sounds funny, it is not amusing at all. Let me tell you what Simon is doing. I play tennis, okay? Simon reminds me of one guy that I always give 6 love. And I always give him 6 love. But every day, he would tell me and tell others that in the next game, that he's going to win one game. That he's always winning the next game. Always winning the next game.
Before the game.
Now, I want people to know that Simon Ekpa told us that he had already bought this house. Only when Pastor Livingstone went there to find that the house has not been bought, that he told us that the house was being renovated. When they heard that somebody had now occupied the place, they say you should wait until in the next 2 months you will see what will happen there. When he was told that no, that this house, okay, you claim that you own all of it, then you claim that it is suite 2. Suite 2 is occupied and everything. He says, okay, because you have been there, we are no longer using that place. We are going to a different place.
Oh my God.
And people are listening to all this garbage, and they are still telling me that they are human beings. These people are Nigerians, nothing else, because Nigerians reason below animals. Because even animals would have known that this is a joke. Now, I'm being very honest with you. I've listened to some of these bloggers who will come out and say, this is the Prime Minister's response to Pastor Livingstone. I'm just asking for peace. I'm asking, and I'm looking at these guys. I'm looking at these people, and I'm saying, hey, I thought you people were human beings. I didn't know you can't reason. I'm looking at these people, and I'm saying, oh my God, I thought these people
I thought these people, I honestly, but it's okay, because the more they speak, the more we know who are true Biafrans and who are not. Because you see, we are in the process of weeding out system. If you study the scriptures, you know what happens to Joshua and how God weeded out those that were not meant to go for the battle. That is the phase we are in. We are, and I want you to know, when you talk about implications, the implications of what Simon had done is this. And I want you to know the worst of those implications, because when I spoke before, I told you they are so numerous. I didn't need to go into one after the other. Look at the worst implication. The worst implication is that Simon had become the unifying force with those who betrayed Nnamdi Kanu at DOS. Because remember, those people didn't want Nnamdi Kanu out, because they knew that once Nnamdi Kanu comes out, their evils will come out and everything will now become obvious. And they don't know how to coexist with Nnamdi Kanu. Simon had become a unifying force between those people and all these lawyers who have been playing games with Nnamdi Kanu whilst pretending to be defending him, and they're collecting money from the government. And all other people who had sold this project. Simon had become a unifying force for all of them, because none of them want to see Nnamdi Kanu alive. None of them want it. So Simon has actually provided them a huge umbrella for all of them to rally round, to focus on making sure that whatever is done to stop Nnamdi Kanu from coming out is achieved.
Sure.
Because this is the only way they believe they can save their faces.
Yes.
I need people to know that this is what exactly Simon had achieved, and the worst implication in all of this. And that is why Nnamdi Kanu's life had never been threatened the way Simon had threatened it. I need every genuine Biafran to understand this, and that this is the pure fact. Simon has unified everybody, including Ifeanyi Ejiofor, because now they all have the same wish. I've told you before, if Simon did not get a guarantee from Nigerian authorities through Ngozi Orabueze that Nnamdi Kanu will never come out alive, Simon would not have ever declared himself a prime minister.
I agree with you.
And let me end by saying that because Kelechi, you asked the question about where all this started. I want you to know that the game Simon began started from the onset. He joined the Biafran project because he wanted to gamble in the hope that Nnamdi Kanu would achieve Biafra, and then Nnamdi Kanu would take him as a second in command or take him to do some work.
That's right.
Okay, that's why he called himself the disciple.
Yes.
He became the first disciple of Nnamdi Kanu. Okay, and he wanted, at first, actually, he was working hard enough to get Nnamdi Kanu freed, because he knew that his position would be secure. That thing he was looking for would be secured,
sure, if
he achieved it. Now, I was privy to listen to a particular commander of ESN who said that that Simon told them that if they did not achieve stopping election in Biafra land, they should take it that Biafra is they should forget about Biafra. So you want to know that this guy had been gambling, and he knew that if that election holds, okay, he will start working full time for Nigeria, okay, because he had already gotten Ngozi Orabueze in, okay. So he now had to threaten the men on the ground. If you cannot do everything to stop election, which he believed will cause riots that will possibly bring about Biafra,
Yeah, Prince.
If they
I
fail
want to look
in
at it.
doing
I want to look at it this way, and I want us
so go ahead.
also. I want everyone also to reason along this line. Pastor Emeka and Comrade Ken. I want us to reason along this line. Simon initially, just like you said, initially saw an opportunity, calling himself the disciple and all of that, thinking that that initial stage, when the court process began in 2021 and all of that, he will make himself put more effort to be very conspicuous and to make sure that it is seen that he's fighting for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, so that once Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes out, thinking that it was going to come out very quickly, and when he comes out, then it will now be that, yes, he actually fought for this thing, exposed many things. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will make him the second in command. Now, when he now began to analyze all of this stuff and with expectation that no election, when he keeps pronouncing no election, the people themselves will now revolt and begin to carry this out. And on the day of the no election, they themselves will decide to sit at home. He now discovered that the Peter Obi was disrupting this plan of no election that will give him more opportunity to have that glory and all of that. And he discovered that Peter Obi was disrupting this. So he started doing much of exposition against Peter Obi, and now still pushing it that there will be no election, thinking that the people will still, in the end, make sure there's no election. Now, when he discovered that the elections were held, he couldn't stop it. The people didn't obey him. They came out for the elections. He now feels that now, based on the handwriting, after all the threats, after all of this stuff, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still locked up. And it seems from the information Ngozi and co are given to him, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not going to come out alive. So he feels now that, okay, let him quickly maintain the structure and keep it in giving the people hope and anticipation, that this is going to happen, that Biafra is coming and all of that. So he kept giving the people that hope and making sure that maximally they keep collecting the funds from the people, they keep manipulating the people as long as they can, knowing that Biafra may not come as they wish, but they can still keep exploiting the people and making money out of the people.
That's true.
Are you there?
I think we lost. I think we lost him. But he will soon be back. So what I just want to say is that
he was making sense. He was now putting everything I said into its place.
That's what, Chris. That is what I intended to do now. A chronology, a short chronology of events, which I call. Listen, this thing is not personal. It's not hatred.
Sorry.
As people misunderstand us, we are working to save Biafra from embarrassment and disgrace, from having heart attack, from being scammed. Listen to me. This is what I call the gambling of Simon Ekpa and his hexamorphosis. You know, metamorphosis is the first stage of development, which things like mosquito pass through egg, larva, pupa, and adult. Now, hexamorphosis is six stages of development, transformation. And it was, loaded with, it was streamed along the road with gambling, a very big gamble. Now, let's start from the beginning. Like Kelechi rightly pointed out, Simon Ekpa started in the early stage as a true disciple of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And he truly, at that time, he showed class and commitment. Then, after that, he entered into the spiritual son of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That's the second one. From the spiritual son, he was now named Dragon. That dragon was a symbol that Nnamdi Kanu unveiled for, I think, our M branch, if I'm not mistaken. Either M branch or ESN. That was the dragon that Nnamdi Kanu unveiled. Simon took it upon himself and was being called the dragon. After being called the dragon, the fourth stage, that the metamorphosis stage, was when he began to answer spokesperson of the Biafran people. After successfully defeating the DOS with our backing, with so many evidences against them. At that dragon stage, he dealt with them. When he concluded and removed them, at the fourth stage, he became the spokesperson for Biafra. Now, at that point where Simon became the spokesperson for Biafra, he began to have ideas because certain people came close to him. He abandoned that zeal he had in the first, second, and third stage that led him in removing DOS. Because at that time when DOS was removed and he became the spokesperson, remember, we had said with him, he said it, we agreed, that we can never take any instruction from Nnamdi Kanu while in detention because we are not sure those instructions came from him. Number two, the whole place was bombed. There's no way to have a conversation with Nnamdi Kanu without them knowing. And therefore, whenever they come up with information purported to come from Nnamdi Kanu, we debunked it and said it's a lie. And one of them was when Chico Doziem was appointed interim leader of IPOB. Simon condemned him outright that you are answering interim leader when Onyendu is in detention. That means you're strategically placing yourself to take over the leadership of the IPOB movement. That was the fourth one. Where at that time, when he became the spokesperson for Biafra, he began to have ideas. Then along the line came a note, a voice note. When they said it concerning Chike Doziem, Simon Ekpa cancelled it and rejected it entirely. But then a voice note came too, saying that purported to come from Nnamdi Kanu, or a message from a voice note said that Master Nnamdi Kanu said, please protect Simon Ekpa, forget about me. That was when Simon started having ideas. That was when I started suspecting him. He was having ideas, terrible ideas. And I didn't want to listen to that. The voice note said, make sure I protect Simon Ekpa, forget about me. As long as we have Simon Ekpa, I am sure. And when that voice note came, Simon Ekpa did not come out to say, I don't buy that voice note, it's not from Onyendu. He kept quiet. That was the feeler that was thrown to see how Biafrans will react. And anything that comes from Onyendu is seen as sacrosanct. So when it was said that Onyendu said that they should protect Simon Ekpa, they gave their whole hearts to it. And at that time, allegiance to Onyendu started shifting towards Simon Ekpa. I'm telling you. Now, at that point, the next thing Simon Ekpa did was he started expelling anybody that is at variance with his program because he has started getting ideas from advisors. They're telling him, look, this guy may not make it. We are from Nigeria. We know he's not going to make it. But place yourself to be the next leader of Biafra. And that was when he began to have ideas of putting their faces in currency, where he will forever implant their name, their presence, their faces in our hearts forever. That one we truncated and it offended him. So the next thing Simon Ekpa answered was interim leader. The very thing he condemned, that was the polymorphosis. At that point, at the 5th level, he had become the interim leader. And when he said it, Biafrans did not challenge it. Then he now realized that Biafrans have bought him as a product. They have swallowed him as a drink. He has permeated their blood system like alcohol. And is confusing their eyes like people who smoked in their hemp. Those people that follow him. He now came to prime minister. And then as a prime minister, effectively, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been removed from authority administration of Biafra. Because Simon Ekpa is fully convinced, beyond all reasonable doubt, that Nnamdi Kanu will die in detention. He's fully convinced that this man cannot make it. That's why he will have that bold impetus to go one step above Chike Doziem, who took interim leader. He went beyond interim leader, which he took, and entered into being the prime minister and formed the government.
Pastor, that interim leader point, let's look at that interim leader point, because I want us to analyze the devious pattern in which he came with that.
Yes,
now,
and also make sure you analyze the gamble I talked of. I was going to talk about, we'll talk about the gamble. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, the Biafra, of course, we have seen it. The Biafra warriors and fighters actually have done a very critical, and in-depth, investigation into the issue of that Denmark Peace Award that he talked about, where he said he was given a peace award by One Peace something foundation, which of course he actually made it look like one UN, body that gives that kind of award. Now, he gave us this analogy in which the Biafra warriors and fighters have actually come out with very, 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 in fact, very soon they are going to be publishing it. Very, very good information about that peace award, there is nothing like peace award. But that particular peace award was an intro platform to give Biafrans that name, interim leader, so that he could attach it in a devious way for Biafrans to see and to introduce that name to Biafrans and to test how they are going to react to that name, and using that peace award to validate the name so that it will look like that people actually were the ones who were instituting that name. What do you think about that?
That thing was a kind of subterfuge.
Yes.
A very high strategic analysis of the psyche of his followers, then using deft, is it political manipulation and subterfuge to deceive the people. Now, that peace award was in preparation to give, making Biafrans know that this is the guy, this is the man. And it was very fraudulent because there was nothing like that. And Biafrans didn't ask, those that follow him, not Biafrans, those Nigerians that follow him don't ask questions. And if you ask, they take offense. And as I'm talking to you now, allegiance has been shifted from Onyendu to Simon Ekpa. Because do you know, Onyendu is bleeding, they don't worry. They don't discuss him. He's bleeding profusely from his nose. They are expecting him to die. And if he dies, there is a comfort being placed for them in the person of Simon Ekpa. Remember, Onyendu said, protect Simon Ekpa. So when he went for that program where he was given a peace, he was given a peace award.
They said Onyendu said, not because Onyendu said. Onyendu never said that.
No, he never said that.
Yes.
He never. It's somebody that said Onyendu said. We didn't buy that. Now, this peace award that was given to him, if a peace award is given to you, there are processes that follow it. One, the organization will be properly known and should be on the website. And even if it is the first time of their coming into existence, they must have a website. And if they are going to give you a peace award, they will announce it in an occasion where you'll be invited to come and receive a peace award. Let's assume that they're just starting. But in this case, the person who announced the peace award is the recipient himself. Like when Wole Soyinka was given a Nobel Prize award for literary works, it wasn't Wole Soyinka that announced it. It was the girl that announced it.
And for
if an organization is giving a peace award, it will not be you that should announce it. They should do the announcement.
There's something I want you to observe also here.
Yeah.
The peace award, you discover that it was actually, according to him, the people who gave him the award are the people who gave him the title interim leader. Now, when does it happen?
Yes, I'm coming. You know, I was not trying to build up something, then I zero into that place. So when you see there is a pattern being followed here, instead of the organization to come out openly to give him peace award in a ceremony, and of course he wouldn't be the only person, or even if he is, there should be a ceremony. It never took place. The person that announced it was Simon Ekpa. Number two, that you should also understand, when the World Igbo Union criticized the World Igbo Congress on their position in the Biafran struggle, it was not the World Igbo Union that came out and spoke. It was Simon Ekpa that spoke on their behalf. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct, you're correct.
Okay.
Now,
this same pattern also followed in the time of him being made an interim leader and to the prime minister. He's the one that normally comes out to give the announcement. It is not those that made him that. And then we came to realize on investigation that the World Igbo Union members are members of Simon Ekpa's advisory committee.
Yes.
Oge is one of them.
Oge is the president.
Oge is the president, who is in Simon Ekpa's committee.
Advisory board, yes.
Advisory board.
Let me tell you how it happened. Pastor, let me tell you how it happened.
Yes, go ahead, because you were there. Thank you.
Yes, because I was there actually. What happened was this. They said they were going to go on that level of propaganda. What they're going to do is this. Okay, would front.
Really?
Yes, it was mentioned. That was when I started becoming skeptical about the whole thing. Why are we going the way of propaganda? propaganda when we are on the path of truth. That was my take when that thing came up. They said it's part of the propaganda. They were just smiling and saying it. And so Oge will front.
Wow. I'm hearing this one for the first time.
As the head of the Igbo, as the president of the World Igbo Union. So
wow.
They'll just get a letter like that, sign it, and then Simon will publish it. Of course. So that was why you saw Oge's name there as the president of World Igbo Union, just to defeat and to try to counter the other announcement of the World Igbo Congress, and to just castigate Ejiofor, the president of the World Igbo Congress. So it was actually a propaganda tactics. They mentioned it there. It's a propaganda, and all of that, and that is it. So that's the level we have gone.
And then another one is this: when this now he made comment of election and appointment. He said the Biafran people elected him, the interim, the advisory council appointed him. Now these are two words, and they operate in two different levels and dimensions. These two things cannot operate on one individual in a government. It is either you are elected or you are appointed.
Or you are appointed, yes.
But in this case, that is why I find it difficult to deal with his grammar arrangement and understanding. Even though he called us illiterate the other day, I wouldn't mind. Or he said that the cars we bought is $500. At least. Please, somebody should appeal to Simon Ekpa. I need a car of $5,000.
Yes, he's getting money from Biafra. So
let him send. No, send to me. Just wait. It's me that insulted that I have a $500 car. You send the money to me. He's loaded. So listen to me. When he was appointed, it was the advisory committee that appointed him. Now, if I appoint you, I can remove you from office.
Sure.
But if I elect you, it is all of us collectively that will have to go into a vote to remove you from office. Now, when did the Biafran people vote Simon into office? That one we don't know. But we know that he was appointed, according to him, by the advisory committee. Now, he turned around. This same advisory committee that appointed him are now his executive servants. It's just an irony, let me say, Buhari now appointing somebody that you are the head of government of Nigeria, and the person agrees, and the person turns around and appoints Buhari and his friends. Buhari, you are going to be my Minister of Communication. Lai Mohammed, you are going to be Minister of Education. Mahmoud, you are going to be the Minister of INEC. They were the ones that appointed you. You now make them your cabinet minister. The whole thing is a laugh. And Biafra not even as they say, no, leave it like that to us. It may not Biafra, sorry, Nigerians that follow Simon.
Thank you. I was waiting for that correction.
Thank you. I know. I even perceived your spirit by communication. So that's that these Nigerians are not willing to open their eyes. You have taken your life and your destiny, put it into the hands of a man that is scamming you. He's telling you plainly he's a con man. Every promise he made, let's come into the gamble. Simon Ekpa he first said, I know the day Nnamdi Kanu will be released from prison. I know when we'll get Biafra. I know the day we'll get Biafra. I'm telling you. So he came from a point of view of a kind of mystery man who had some, magical powers that were beyond the ephemeral, and people began to see him like some kind of larger than life personality who can make things to, like something emanating from somewhere and condescending in your presence suddenly, and it happens. And so he gave them 150 days. We all bought the idea, and we were asking, what are the level of preparations? He said they are prepared. I even asked Azuka. He said, that don't worry, we are preparing. Now, he calculated that based on the time of the election timetable, by the time the election finishes, he understood by himself, it was a gamble, that this election would end up in chaos. Now, 10 days after that, or 9 days after that, or some days after that, it was going to be 150 days. On the understanding that within that period, the chaos that will be in Nigeria, because there has been a build-up to convince Nigerians to know that the election is nonsense. We all said it. I said that if you go for the election, you validate that process as an Igbo man. So that build-up was hoping to meet at that climax where after the election there'll be breakdown of law and order, hoping that the Yorubas will go their way, the Middle Belt will go their way, they will be our way. Say, okay, I told you. But incidentally, it did not work that way. That was the gamble. Remember, that time when these guys went for, let me tell you, there was a gamble. He even thought that he could even advance it beyond that level. After the election, they were to go do a protest. You saw that audio clip that came up, which he was telling them, you people should go and protest. Which somebody revealed, he said they were speaking in tongues. Intentionally, he said, this is how we've been doing before. This is our opportunity to get it. Now there is confusion in the country. Let us go and do this protest. And that I want people to come into the street like in streams, like ants, in large quantity. Right. So that was something that if that gamble had paid off, then things would have happened. But unfortunately for him, his boys didn't come out. It was the other guys that the DOS organized and they mowed them down. Now, Nnamdi Kanu had earlier on warned that you should never go on protest again in Biafra land. They kill you. But he said it and somebody heard it. He said he was speaking in tongues. Whom are you deceiving? You said there that this was our plan and people are going to do. He was talking to Butuzo and others and they heard. And somebody leaked it. Now, the very woman you said that you don't know was the woman you once gave money to, taking care of her men on ground. But you said when she came, you asked her, who are you? And different Nigerians who follow him just believed it. Oh, Osi, who are you? Him and this boy, the guy Diego, on the moment of the now that guy, now the guy did too much. So you have information to swallow everything he vomited into your mouth, down to your stomach, hook, line, and sinker. As I'm telling you, there are people who follow him that are saying it is either Simon or not. Nobody is contesting it. We're not even interested. The point is you're on your way to being scammed unless you wake up. Every single dime having been exposed, you contribute to ESN. Does not go to ESN. They're hungry today. The money is being used for Biafran liberation movement or what? Which is a departure from ESN because BLM is different from ESN. These are three different letters on each side. Three different letters on each side, and they have three different meanings. So resources are collected on behalf of ESN, but it's being used for BLM, which he said there's going to be a new swearing of an oath being commanded by Butuzo. That's why I'm saying every structure Nnamdi Kanu put in place, Simon has demolished it and has squarely planted himself into the hearts of the Biafrans. And that way, Nnamdi Kanu will not be missed if now doesn't bother people much.
No, Pastor Livingstone, everything you said is true, but I'm trying to disagree with Simon embedding himself in the hearts of Biafra. I need you to know that those that are singing whatever you say, we believe Simon Ekpa, are not only Nigerians, but those you think are Biafrans, but they have a hand in what happened to Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. They are the one now insisting that whatever Simon is doing is the right thing.
Exactly.
Because they know that that road will only lead to never seeing Nnamdi Kanu again alive.
Yeah.
So, and there are many, many of them. That's why if you are not aware of this, you will feel frustrated. You think you're talking to deaf ears. No, these are people who have interest in Nnamdi Kanu not coming out alive, coupled with Nigerians who want Nigeria to remain the same.
I can't agree more.
Okay, so please, we need to really, really understand this. And I want Biafrans to know, genuine Biafrans, not these idiots. I want them to know, if they don't know already, that the so-called dragon, like our sister has told us, are being controlled by women.
Exactly.
By Ngozi Orabueze. and Azuka Charles Nwankwo.
Exactly.
So what type of dragon is this that is controlled by 2 women? What type of dragon is this? Now, I also want genuine Biafrans to know, and they can examine it by themselves. Nothing this guy has said, okay, in contrast to Nnamdi Kanu, nothing he has said had come true. Nothing at all.
Not even one.
Not even one. So how long are you going to keep gambling with this fool, with this child?
Listen to me, please.
Now, let me tell you what Simon did so you understand it.
Okay.
Simon understood the games that pastors play in Nigeria. He studied it very well and knew that that would be his modality. That is why, no matter how wrong he is, he will tell you he was in the spirit. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever wrong he did, he will tell you he was in the spirit. And because he knows that Nigerians follow their pastors like sheep. Okay? So, on that premise, he worked out all the strategies whereby if you catch him here, he will tell you it is going to happen next time. He had to use that thing that the pastors use to convince their members that they are walking in the spirit, that they will see. So he keeps moving the goalposts. And you know, with Nigerian pastors, it is always in the hope. Just keep hoping it is going to happen. So Simon mastered that, and that is what he is using to confuse the few Biafrans that are still open to confusion. I want you to know that the rest are Nigerians, and also made up of those who have interest, who believe they have something to benefit for Nnamdi Kanu not ever coming out alive. So we need to understand all these things so that we can see through these idiots. I thank you.
Okay, Comrade Ken, you want to ask a question or something?
I don't have a question. You know, we are just here to liberate our people and to enlighten our people, to give them lecture so they can learn. You know, so if you talk about Nigeria, that very contraption, in the entire global world, if you lay your passport anywhere in the world as a Nigerian, how do they treat us as Nigerians? They see us as fraudulent people. They see us as criminals, you know. Simon Ekpa spoke about all these things. This is why I'm really angry with what he's doing today. What I'm trying to tell Nigerians, what do they think that the nations in the world, just like as our brother Pastor Livingstone said already before, what do they think how the world will take us, if they will be taking us serious in what we are doing or not? If the first thing that this prime minister did, the prime minister of Biafra, as he claimed to be, was to fraudulate his people by lying that he bought a house that he did not buy. So I'm just asking his followers to go ask him. He also told them that he have an office in Finland. I always make reference to what he's saying. He should show us that very Biafran house in Finland. We want to know where it is. Another thing is, you know, as you people have said, that he's gambling. He's gambling a lot, and he will still gamble more if those supporters continue to support him. They now said because Emeka Livingstone went to that very building, because I'm just focusing all my attention now on that very building. He said they will not use the building again, that they will go underground. That means Biafrans, you people want to have a house,
oh my God,
which is Biafran house, which nobody will know where it is. That is where he's driving to. That's where Simon is driving to. He will come tomorrow to tell you people that they have another house somewhere, but he don't want to say where it is. That means you as a Biafran have a house, but you cannot go there. You don't know where it is.
Oh God.
So this is where they are going to, because some of them are even advising him to do things in secret. These are the evil demons, the monkeys and baboons that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu always say, telling him to start to do something in secret. Don't you see they are even trying to give him more power to kill them, to scam them more.
Of course.
You understand?
There's something I want to ask here.
Let me ask you this question, and then I will yield.
I'm so disturbed about. Okay, please.
Let me ask you.
I want to ask this particular question because I'm so disturbed about what is going on, because our priority right now is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You know, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. What do you think gives Simon the guts to just tell Biafrans lies and just go with it? You know, you see, he said last week that he is giving the Nigeria government 17th Monday for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be permitted and to be allowed to get, you know, his medical treatment and all of that. And if they don't do that, there will be consequences. And today is Friday, Thursday, 20th, 3 days after. And all we see now, Simon is doing it now, is that he's talking about amalgamation, part 1, part 2.
Kelechi, I'm drinking water. I'm not drinking champagne, please. So they don't think I'm drinking champagne.
That's a good reminder. That's a good reminder, Kelechi. While Onelu is languishing in incarceration, being detained illegally, Azuka is busy dancing on the internet, and Simon Ekpa is busy dancing and drinking. Those are the people that have the interest of Onyendu at heart. If your brother,
why would somebody be
But before Kelechi, before you ask that question, okay. I want to plant this question in all your hearts. Do you know that Simon Ekpa is a worse crook than Tinubu? Do you know that?
I don't know.
Do you all know that?
I don't know. I beg, tell me, because when we came here now say that there was a gamble. They decided they were going to do propaganda. It's the first time I hear was propaganda.
Simon has proven to be a worse criminal.
I think there's a problem with the network there. It's poor.
Yeah, you know, maybe
he actually mentioned it. It's propaganda. That is part of the propaganda. You know, so Oge has to front like the World Igbo Union, become the president, and that is what they are doing to Biafrans. That is the evil to Biafrans.
Do you know that these guys will go on trial in Biafra?
Very well.
No, wait, just leave that very well. If they don't even go to trial now, because okay. they are still using that building that they Photoshop. Most of their media team are still placing it on their site. No, they haven't even understand something.
I want to ask you this question. Because it concerns you based on that building. Now, Simon comes to tell us, because I know what he was trying to do was that he was trying to appeal to the conscience of our conscience to understand that we're all Biafrans, so there's no need to go to take this matter to court. Now, what he did was this. When he said to the people that the owner of the building called him and was telling him about this issue of you trespassing, he was pleading with the owner not to take you or not to take it up with you or take you to court because he believes we are Biafrans. It is an indirect statement trying to tell us that we shouldn't actually take it up because he knows the implication of when we take the Photoshop image, his broadcast and everything that he has done, bring them together and present them to the owner. He knows what the owner will do because that building belongs to the owner. The owner will be shocked that his building is being used as for international criminality or crime. So he knows that he needs to buy or indirectly give us an information that we are Biafrans, so we shouldn't go to that extent. I know that's what he's trying to do. He just wants to make us believe that we are all Biafrans. Please don't go that extent by telling us that the man called him and he told the man not to arrest you because you are a Biafran. He pleaded with him, with the man.
He has done me so much. He has helped me so much. He loves me so much.
So now,
someone likes riding on another person's shoulder into glory.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I know how to write these things.
So I want to tell Simon. Fact news, please hold on. I want to tell Simon that whether he likes it or not, we know we are Biafrans, but he must pay for the atrocities he's doing against Biafrans, and he will pay. We are going to take him to court when the time comes. He is going to pay for the atrocities. It's not something you just come on social media and talk and then everything goes under the carpet. Look at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, 17th. He gave the date, 17th. The man in the Exile in Lagos, he said 3 days. Then other times he says, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we give you 5 days, we give you 2 weeks, we give you next month, we give 15th of November 2022. All these dates, what kind of mockery? What an extent
Kelechi, do you know what Simon Ekpa told Soludo when Soludo came out and spoke about the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Can't you remember what he said?
Yes.
That Soludo have spoken that if Soludo doesn't bring Mazi Nnamdi Kanu out, he made a lot of comments during this time. But at the end, do you hear him talking about Soludo anymore? No.
Yes, yes.
These are the things our people have to know.
Please comment.
Yes, comrade. Yes, comrade. You see, sorry, I had a very huge network problem. This has never happened before, but I'm back. You see, the reason why we are here is to create an awareness to Biafrans that our brother Simon, whom we actually working together with to fight for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, have actually shifted ground.
Exactly.
And is no longer interested in the fight for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And the question is this: where is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Is there anything going on that we ought to know? Because I have a lot of followers and they have been asking questions. And then what Simon did with the address is a very huge diplomatic scam in the international community. You cannot put an address that does not exist and you begin to, even if you are still coming up with that address, you have to hold on until the office is ready. But here, the office is not ready. And you are putting this address in all the documents that you are posting all over the world. And then you've already put it on a website. And you have also convinced the Biafran people that you have written to the United Nations with this particular address, expecting them to respond to that address. This is a diplomatic scam, and this is still a breach of security to the life of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If Biafran people do not know this today, I want to make it categorically clear that this is a breach of security and a diplomatic insult to the Biafran people. You don't use a ghost address to write to the United Nations. You are making a mockery of our freedom.
A mockery.
You are making a mockery of our as an indigenous person.
Our unborn children.
You have actually disgraced us. Oh. You have actually disgraced the struggle. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have put his life, the life of his father, the life of his mother online. You have actually disgraced the 70 million Biafrans by putting an address that does
6
not
million
exist
dead. 6
and
million
continue
dead.
to write to the United States and continue to write to the UN and telling us all manner of shit. Let me surprise you. What Simon have done have actually jeopardized the life of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And the reason why we are here is to set the record straight that Simon is no longer working for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and he needs to stop. Because if anything happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we will hold him responsible.
Three questions I want to throw to you people now. The first question is this: why did Simon say in 2 months' time concerning this house? If he has acquired it, why is he saying in 2 months' time? That's number one. Number two, Simon Ekpa is a lawyer. Why is it that as a legal practitioner,
he claimed. He claimed.
No. I just want to say based on what he said.
He's a lawyer.
Why is it as a legal practitioner, Simon, having understood what it entails, has not been able to raise up a lawyer for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? That's number two. Number 3, why would Simon Ekpa be dancing and drinking when Nnamdi Kanu, his condition is deteriorating every day? As of the last count, he was bleeding profusely. How shall he and Azuka be dancing and drinking when Nnamdi Kanu is languishing? The fourth question.
Can I answer the first one?
Yeah, no, the fourth and final question. These followers of Mazi Simon Ekpa, do they really love Nnamdi Kanu at all? That's the question.
Prince, let's hear you. You said you want to answer the first question. Okay, I think his network has gone down.
Yeah, I will take the first question. You know, the first question you ask.
Brief. Yeah, make it brief. Please.
The first question you ask, if Simon Ekpa said we should wait for 2 months. So yes. For me to answer that question is to the followers. I always call them Simon Ekpa followers. We want Madam Azuka, Charles Nwankwo, or Ngozi Orabueze to go to that house that they are renovating. If they said they are renovating it, they should go to the front of that house just like Emeka Livingstone did. Those his people that are in America, he should send them there because he's still claiming that that house is still Biafran house. Let them go there, make a video, tell the Biafrans this is the house, we are on the property, and here we are trying to prove to you people that Emeka Livingstone is lying. You understand? Maybe this day, I have to tell them what we have to do this day. I will not hide it for them. If they go there, if they try to go there, we will come there and make the argument until when the police will come. If they are ready for that, let them go there. Thank you very much.
Mr. Ken, you know, if we are to take it up via the law, we will take all the posts Simon Ekpa has made, and also we will take the house he has posted and covered with the Biafran flag, and we will sue him for fraud. This is
my comrade. Sorry, we going this way is like we are trying to destroy our own. The way our people always say, we have to support our own. You know, when 2 people are having problem outside, the police are always involved. This is what I'm trying to tell you. We are just playing the game now like radical people. If they say they are radical, we are also radical. So if they know that house, they acquired any apartment, we are not talking about the entire house now, any apartment there, if they know they acquired it, let somebody from America in the name of Simon Ekpa and his government in Exile go there and make a video. As he's making that video, we will appear there to come and question him and police will be involved. So this will be a case of 2 persons having problems.
Are you saying that they must come there? Simon is very good in analyzing issues.
Let me say this.
All right.
Let me say this. We know that Simon always wants to bring evidences and proofs. He said he has acquired a house. Why is it that when the day he came to debunk what we said, when Pastor Emeka and Sorona, they went there, why didn't he come with the receipt?
Exactly.
And show the people on the screen and say, this is the receipt, this is the name, and show it. He comes with documents every time and try to. 2, we know that idiosyncratically, Simon and Azuka like dancing and showing off. We know Simon likes showing off. For instance, whenever he appears anywhere where he knows he's shaking hands with one European or something, he wants to snap pictures and show the world that he's actually shaking hands with an European and proving that he's actually doing something very effectively and vividly. Now, with that kind of person, with that kind of mindset, you know that when it comes to a headquarters that he has acquired, he would want Azuka to appear there, dance around with her, team and all of that, with all this, is it Chichi or Carolina? I don't know what their name is. Let them dance around there and drink champagne and show. Maybe the husband will come there and press breasts and make things look real. And then they will now show to Biafrans that this is true. Why is it that now he's now keeping quiet? He's looking for 2 months to prepare.
Okay, I wanted to answer that first question that Pastor Livingstone asked before my network had problem, because there were 3 questions. And the first one was, why is it that Simon, having acquired this place, is now talking about 2 months? The answer for that question, is simply because Simon lives in the hope of his gamble, and he wants everybody else to live in hope. Once that hope is coming and the hopes are being dashed, he had prepared another hope within those 2 months period to keep people hoping. That is the first side of that question, the first answer to that question. The second side to that question is that every Biafran should remember that this is a dragon, shameless dragon, that is being controlled by 2 women, Ngozi Orabueze and Azoka. And these 2 women have nothing in their brains to tell them that they are gambling with over 6 million Biafrans that have been slaughtered in the name of Biafra struggle, that they are gambling with the unborn Biafrans and over 17 million Biafrans that are hoping in their freedom. He's also, most importantly, gambling with Nnamdi Kanu's life. Every genuine Biafran should remember these. You are living with a gambler who wants to keep you continuously in hope forever. Hope that will forever be dashed. I thank you. That's the first answer to the first question.
Okay, let me respond to the first answer by making this promise, because people have to answer the other 2 questions.
Very important.
I want to make this promise to Simon Ekpa and his followers. If Simon Ekpa goes and rents one of those shoots, 3 or 4, equip it, I will go there and find out, and I'll tell Biafrans we now have our office. I give him that promise. If he can rent it within this period, to show his commitment to the Biafran cause, I will go there and tell Biafrans, I have seen the thing. Simon has corrected his mistakes. He has rented it. This is your office.
Pastor Livingstone.
Your promise is also springing another question. Haven't you heard that because you have been there, that place is now nullified? They can't use it. How do you answer that?
Let me come in here, sir. You see.
No, it is true. I have nothing against him. I have nothing against him.
Of course, we know. Sure. Mazin Nnamdi Kanu already have liaison office in the United States and in Germany. The reason why we followed Simon was because the DOS failed in their duty to rescue Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. And we followed Simon, and we believe that he will do something that will shake the diplomatic circle for them to release Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. But he has shifted his attention on our leader. Biafrans all over the world. What Simon would have done with the money being donated to him was to fund and unite the Eastern Security Network together, and not to buy houses, and not to spend the money on unnecessary things. You have to unite the men on ground because you are raising this fund with the name of these people. You have to make sure that they are ready. You have to make sure that the Nigerian government understands that Mazin Nnamdi Kanu is our priority, and not to front that you are now the prime minister. This is a sabotage.
Do you know that as my brother spoke, I remembered asking, there was a time Simon came into ETTG. And by then there was this thing that Nnamdi Kanu's life is at risk. What are we gonna do? Simon told us, don't worry, we know we are going to do something. There is a plan on the way.
Yeah.
I don't know whether people remember that.
Very well, yes.
So Simon has always used this pastor sorry, Pastor Livingstone, but Nigerian pastors' technique.
I was going to sign off now.
It was a Nigerian government pastor's system of
technique to always give you hope whenever you throw something that he can't manage. He will just dismiss it by telling you, "Don't worry, we know about that and we are planning on that." Or if he blunders and you say, you look at that blunder, he says, "Don't worry, I was speaking in the spirit." He's using this nonsense all the time because he has mastered that. That is how Nigerian pastors deceive their followers. But we are Biafrans. We are Biafrans. We are not Nigerians. He needs to understand.
Let me just help the true Biafrans, not the Nigerians, not the baboons and monkeys in the Zoological Republic, just the true Biafrans.
Are you sure you're not insulting baboons and monkeys? Because these animals are smart, please. But go ahead.
So what I'm trying to say is that I have an organization here that we run. Yeah, you cannot have a building where you have your organization putting a banner in that building if that organization is not registered. It doesn't work. So we are asking Simon Ekpa today and his crooked followers, before they acquire a house in the United States, calling it the Biafran Liaison House, do they register this very organization or government in America? Because if they don't register it, they can't even put Biafran flag or banner there. This is the fact. So these are questions we want Simon Ekpa to come and be debunking, because he said we are not intelligent. He said we are foolish people.
Yeah,
so in addition to that, very quickly, it won't take 1 second. Okay. Do you know that what Simon Ekpa has done with a whole nation, Biafra, even a partner in a marriage cannot do it to the other partner?
Correct.
Do you know that this is a divorce immediately? That a partner told another partner that he or she has bought a building with their money. And suddenly they are telling stories and saying, "Don't worry, in the next 2 months, don't worry, it is been," and there is no paper to show that that money have been duly spent in the right thing that they agreed to do. Do you know that a partner, this is a divorce material, let alone a whole nation? People need to understand the magnitude of this this mad idiots thing. Carry on.
Yes, you see, we have been scammed over and over and over and over. We heard Simon gave the narrative last month, said that before the 23rd, after that 150 days count and the 8 days gone, and the day of the final count, that is I can't remember now. He said that liaison offices will be opened in several states. He mentioned the states, and he said he's giving them up to 23rd. Giving them up to 23rd, that those offices will be opened. And up to date, all we are now seeing is he brings up a topic, takes off that. Once it's getting to the deadline, he brings up something else and blocks the whole thing. And then the people forget. Now, see, in our next broadcast, I want us to all look at the psyche of Biafrans, you know, to know why our people have gotten this debased in their level of thinking, their reasoning. And I would love us all here to be here. Because of time, we're going to fix another appointment for that. Because we want to look at what has really happened to our people, that our people have become very debased in their level of thinking, that somebody scams them right now and then tells them that by the next 1 hour, I'm going to put money into your account or something. And then in that next 1 hour, the person comes and says and begins to say something else, and they forget about that.
Yeah. And in that episode, can we begin by the psychology of Simon Ekpa? Then we go into the psychology of Biafra.
Okay, but you have not answered the second question. Why didn't he hire a lawyer? Why is it that we don't have a lawyer? Because right now, Onyendu is abandoned.
Who is ready to take on that question? Who is ready to take on that?
Why is it that Simon Ekpa, the money he has not raised the lawyer for
because of time, okay. I think we should have you know, it's just that you know, I'm looking at the time. But Sorona is here already, and again, he's here. So I don't know how we're going to do, that. You know.
Yes,
and,
you give Sorona a chance to talk.
Okay, let him talk. Yeah.
We have to give him a chance to
Let him answer the second question.
Yes, Sorona,
Yes.
please. Can you go on? I know you've been hearing the questions, and please just go on, please.
Yeah.
And
Livingstone have to repeat the question again.
We have to.
Let Pastor ask that question again so that Sorona can answer it.
Yes, by 2 hours 15 minutes.
The question is,
Pastor,
why is it?
Pastor, please, before we go on, we have 2 hours 15 minutes already spent, and we have about 14 minutes to round up. So please, on this note, we're going to have the question, and then Sorona will just in 13 minutes just do everything, and then we round up because of time.
Okay, the question, Sorona, is this. This I should ask you. Simon Ekpa is a lawyer.
Kunon View Media say we should extend it to 3 hours. I don't know. Okay, let's go on, please.
Listen to me. Simon Ekpa is a lawyer, or is a senior legal consultant in a law firm. Having known the implications of somebody being in detention without a lawyer, why is it that for all the money Simon Ekpa has gotten from the Biafran people, he has not been able to hire a lawyer for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu up till now? The one that we have are the ones that were hired by the DOS. Why?
And Simon expelled them.
And Simon expelled them. Yes, he has expelled Jofo and expelled all of them. Jimako is just there. So why is it that we don't have a lawyer for Mazi? If we truly, that's why the third question came, do we truly care about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? So the second question is, why is it that he has not hired a lawyer for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Why?
Okay. That is a very, very pertinent question. That question, I think, it pertains to Simon, the so-called Simon Ekpa himself, to answer. That question needs to be directed to him. Why haven't you rendered any legal help, for our leader to come out? And what role legally have you played ever since the legal battle began? What role have you played legally about it? You claim that you are a lawyer in Finland. You are not just a lawyer, you are a politician in Finland. You are this, you are that, you are a soldier in Finland. I'm glad this is no other place but in Finland only. Okay. That can tell you, he got nothing up his sleeves. He's got nothing.
Okay.
So that he played no role.
The final question, because you said it is him that will answer that, but the implication is that he shows that he has nothing to offer. The final question, all these Biafrans that are following Simon and having noticed all these things and don't ask questions, don't ask him to do anything. These Biafrans who are shouting, Biafra, Biafra, causing people, do they truly love Mazi Nnamdi Kanu?
Yes, they love Nnamdi Kanu, no doubt about that. But that is why they went after Simon Ekpa, because there was no one else that they can hear their voice. So when Nnamdi Kanu went in, the only voice they were hearing was that of Simon Ekpa. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to turn them around, to make them see the light.
To make them see what? The light.
The light, yes. It's gonna be hard. But they have sheepishly followed. They believed in him. But so they don't know.
Exactly.
They were, yes.
They are being deceived. They don't know they are being conned or scammed. They don't know. They're misled into forgetting about Onyendu, whom they all love.
Yes.
Yeah. But do you also think that in addition to those Biafrans, there have become more now that are coming from the Nigerian side and those that sold Nnamdi Kanu joining those Biafrans, knowing fully well that Simon is now geared to the destruction of Nnamdi Kanu and the Biafran project. Do you think that there are more now that have joined in to support and follow Simon blindly? Do you think there are more now than before?
There are more of them now. Yeah. They cannot reason independently. What they have is the Nigerian hangover.
That was that is what elicited that question that I asked.
Yes.
Because you love a man with all your heart. Somebody came up to give you direction on how to liberate that man. And the person you're following started misbehaving. And you know the direction is working, cannot liberate that man. And yet you don't want to leave him. So by following him with all your heart, you abandon the man for which cause you raised him up to represent him and stand for you. You have abandoned him. That's why I'm asking the question. Do you really think you still love him?
They do. That is made out of passion, but stupid passion, foolish passion. Foolish passion.
So what are the implications of that passion? Now, I'm not trying to fault them. I'm just asking something. Since let's look at it objectively so that their minds can open up. Maybe some of them are operating in ignorance. Let us say that passion. What are the implications of that kind of passion, that blind followership?
This implies that it will lead to failure. It will lead to non-mission accomplishment. It will lead to
disaster.
Disaster. It will lead to us not realizing our dream, our set goals, our aim. It's not going to come true because
that brings the next question. What are the set goals for the Biafran people for now? For me, I identified two most important things that we need. What are those set goals? Can somebody tell me? I know of two most important things that is needed right now in this fight, in this movement, in respect to set goals. Can somebody venture the two most important? You may have three, I don't know. Me, I have two. Can somebody?
For me, the two goals are freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and liberation of Biafran people.
Two. Can somebody answer his own?
If you ask me from a personal point of view, our goals, not less, Biafra. That is it.
Okay.
So
can somebody else answer me?
For me, I just have to say, Onyendu have to be released alive. You have to be out. This is one. The second aspect of it, I have to say, is we have to make the Biafrans know that Simon Ekpa is a scammer. We are not forcing them. We are not forcing anybody out of Simon Ekpa. But we know that where we concentrate our muscles and powers, I'm also saying it every now and then, is to make sure that any mistake Simon Ekpa is making, we will try to set the record straight for the Biafrans to know that we are not just here for hating Simon Ekpa or anything. And the third goal I have is to let the Biafran know that there are still truthful people that will lead us to the promised land. This is just the three things I have. Thank you.
Okay. For me, I agree with you. There's one area which we didn't touch. For me, these are the two most important areas for now. Number one, Nnamdi Onyendu formed ESN. They are in disarray. They are scattered. How can we bring all ESN under one umbrella? Because every money that is being donated is to take care of them. And number two is the release of Onyendu. Because once Onyendu comes out, Biafra is declared. So for me, I see it that if Simon Ekpa, at where he's standing, because right now he's dividing the whole camp, if you can bring the whole camp under one umbrella, because we are contributing money for that purpose. And then number two, see to the release of Onyendu. Either Onyendu first before the camp or the camp before Onyendu. Anyone, these are the two most important things we need. Once Onyendu comes out from detention, I tell you the truth, the fire will go around the whole world. Every Biafran will wake up from sleep. And anything he says, Biafrans will act on it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. We already have this. Now I will give one more time. So let me ask Serena the one particular question, and then we'll now do our general roundoff. So that because of time, Serena, we just need you to answer this question at least in the next 5 minutes. You talk about this question so that we can round off. Now, looking at everything, the whole thing now, as it stands now, we know that Biafrans have been hoodwinked by their false hope in Simon, and by this sentiment of why and how we are being driven with circumstances and situations, especially when we are too hopeful and emotionally attached to a thing because we are scared of the future. We have seen that Biafrans are right now in a very dicey situation, their mind realm. Now, going forward, what do you think can be done now to carry out, one, the liberation of Biafrans, their mind realm, two, the liberation of Biafrans from the contraption Nigeria?
Okay. First of all, the way we are going about it is not the way we're supposed to go about it. You know, for us to liberate ourselves from the zoo, we have to speak in the language that the zoo understands. So we have not done anything that is impacting the lifespan of the zoo. We're not impacting them negatively. So the economy is flowing, the senators are getting paid, they're running their system, they're sharing their monthly allocations. So these things has not been assaulted. The source has not been touched. So everything is going fully well for them. They are bribing the universe, the whole world, to suppressing Biafra. They are gallivanting around in the territory of Biafra, and they're not being stopped. So that's why they keep, doing what they are doing. So unless the few people that's going to get Biafra, it's not going to take all to get Biafra. Just like everybody is inclining towards Simon Ekpa. So we have to filter those who are inclining towards Simon Ekpa and bring the few men of valor, men of courage and candor and commitment to push, to drive, to pilot the train that is like the moving train that is going to get Biafra. That is where we're going to hit. That's going to be our main focus. Mission-oriented men and women who understand the language of freedom fighting, of liberation, just like they did in the 70s. So that is where we have to drive toward. We're going to have to hit the economy of Nigeria. We're going to have to hit whatever gives Nigeria life. We're going to have to stop Nigeria from encroaching into our land, from unleashing all those activities they are unleashing on our people, the killings. Instead, they have to be a part of the pen too. I mean, major part of the pen has to be levied against Nigeria. For they have been doing all this to us all along with reckless abandon. That is what we have to do to them. Then as for those, we need to also mobilize our people. Our people need some sort of emergency brain reset. For they don't know what they do or what they are doing. Just like religiously, I would say, I'll quote the Bible where the Lord cried, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing." What they're doing. That's it. So, but this time around, we need to educate our people, bring them to light. I had a lot of debate about Biafra House, this Biafra House that. There are processes you have to undergo when you want to buy a house in America. You don't just say, this is not Nigeria. Let me get this one. No. You got to go through realtors or estate managers. Yeah, you pay taxes to the American government. And you don't just do that. You have to qualify to buy a house in America and all that. You don't just come, oh, I bought a house, I bought a property. You have to have an agent and all that. You understand? So all those things have to be in place before you acquire a place. And when you're lying to the people, and we try to bring the people to light, they don't even ask questions. They feel like people in a dream of unrealistic dream. They don't reason. And then instead, they're killing their prophets, the people that are supposed to salvage them. They're talking down on them. This is nonsensical. It doesn't make, I don't know, but we need to reset our people, reorientate our people, and show them the right way to go. But it's not going to take all. It's not going to take all. It only takes few people, few faithful people to do this, and all those scavengers, taking advantage of the situation, cashing in on it. Like some people say, don't talk about someone, but somebody needs to slap him across the face. Somebody needs to give him taza on his face, so he sits down, and then people will see things. Yeah, yeah. This is my take on all.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Serenity, for that brief one, but very with content and all of that. Now, I'm going to give time for everyone to just, in 1 minute, just round off with this. But before I do that, I'm going to read out some stuff. I want to look at what Chris has written here. Chris Obiago says, that is why the Fulanis won't release Pastor Kanu or Kanu Pastor. I said this when Kanu was kidnapped. Fulanis won't release him. And why would they? If they don't release him before the elections, why would they now? This is freedom fighting. We must remove emotions. The leader of Amazonia is still in prison. And then he made another statement here. He said, Austin Ezenwa says, my people's unity is the important thing. Chris says, pipeline, stop the flow of oil and the world will come to the table. I feel there is a conspiracy and freedom fighters are working with politicians, because I always ask myself, why stay in the bush and be chasing cows when they are shipping out oil? Use it to buy weapons that they use to kill us. Without unity, nothing can be done. So these are the positions of some of our people. I can't read the several messages that are coming in from the people, several opinions and all of that. But we know that definitely we have a major plan on ground and what we plan to do. And based on what Serenity have said, he has told us we need to reset the minds of the people, and at the same time, the strategy we're utilizing now is not actually the strategy we should utilize. Ken, Comrade Ken, you have something to say just in 1 minute to just tell Biafrans some things that are on your mind that you think we should do and what they should expect from now. Just in 1 minute. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm greeting Biafrans, the humble ones and the good listeners that are here today to listen to what we are deliberating on. All I just have to say, anybody who knows best as a Biafran should come to this program and give us his own idea, how he know we can do it best. So because we are inviting all Biafrans to come together for us to pursue this single goal that we all have together. So we are not against anybody, rather we just want to get Biafra in truth and honesty. We are not here to get Biafra with propaganda. So, and more so, I would like to tell our people, the listeners, that whenever they are coming, they should come with hard questions. They should come with questions and suggestions so we can all share ideas and deliberate on it together. So this is only what I feel that will bring us forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. Very brief and all of that. Thank you very, very much. Chris, Fact News, let's hear from you. Just in 1 minute, just to make a sentence or a statement to Biafra people for what they should expect from now? On what?
The structure which we have now, seeing that the DOS and Simon has failed our leader, we have decided to come up with a unique, well accountable, well structured system so that we can unite the men on ground together. And immediately this is done, we have our plan for MNK to be out, because we can't leave him there. That guy have suffered for us. We need to make sure that we do everything possible to get him out. So we are calling on Biafrans to join us. Let's move, because Simon is delaying. The delay is dangerous. The life of our leader is at risk right now. And Simon have nothing, absolutely nothing. If you love MNK, come, let's go. Thank you.
Yes, Simon is not actually delaying, he is destroying. And so Biafrans must understand that it's about destruction, not delaying. And thank you so much. And Prince, I see you want to say something quickly on that too. Please go on, please.
That's an awesome one. Simon is destroying. He has only destruction in his path. Now, to all my fellow Biafrans, I want you to know that Biafra is a project that God has designed, okay? And I want you to know that the project God has designed is such that every Biafran is a stakeholder, I want you all to know that collectively, in unison with God, in unison with Elohim, we have built a structure that will only give glory and only glory to God Almighty, not any man. There will be no dragons here. There will be no, I am 500 men in one. We are going on behalf of Chukwokike, and we are going on behalf of Elohim, and we're going in the spirit of Mazin Namdekanu to ensure that we deliver Biafra that every Biafran will be proud of. So come along and see what we are going to do. The roadmap is here, and I thank you.
Thank you so much. Pastor, you're going to be saying something last, because you're going to say a word, and then you're going to pray for the spirit of understanding to come upon Biafrans. According to the order of James chapter 1, verse 8, does anyone lack wisdom? So we're going to stand in the gap on behalf of Biafrans for 1 minute, pray for the spirit of understanding to come into them. Because sometimes we think it's not by might or by power, it's not by what we think we can do, but by how God can help the people to understand. Because we see that the people are actually influenced by demonic forces, legions of them. And Serenity, please, and just do your final words to the people and let them know what they have to know now.
Okay. What I have to say, I'm sorry that I was in my $500 car. That is why. So,
the mediocrity of a foolish idiot. Go ahead.
So, this is what we're going to do. It's time to brace up for what is to come. It's time to brace up with reality. It's time to call a spade by its name. It's time to have a sense of direction. It's time to be lean. It's time to be locked, loaded, and ready to roll. We've been playing all along. That is why those who are holding us down are still bent on doing what they are doing. We have not started, but work begun is half done. Believe you me. When you say we all need, there got to be some people that will have to start the whole thing. Something got to start from somewhere. And when they do, They need to be serious about it. We, not they, we need to be serious about what we are doing. We're not serious yet. If we've been serious, the zoo, after the court, their kangaroo court, set our leader free, you know, when they tried all they could. After adjournment and counter adjournments, multiple adjournments, they found nothing to hold our leader. They finally let go. But who is the one holding our leader there? Why are those people holding our leader down? Why are they still walking free? Why are they still moving around? We have not hit them below the belt. So when I said we need to speak in the language they understand, that's what I mean. They're holding because they're still gallivanting, they're free, feeling fine, you know, flexing their muzzle. Oh, we got the power, we got your man. Then we got your man, and we haven't gotten none of them. We need to pay them back in their own coins. Speak in the language they understand, and things will start working. Believe you me.
Thank you.
You know, this is like a case of a schoolyard bully. Schoolyard bully who goes about hurting everybody, taking your lunch money and all that, and everybody's scared of him. Guess one day, if you face him, challenge him, and throw him, you see, his reign of terror will cease to exist. That's it. So we've not challenged Nigeria in any way.
Thank you so much.
Because of poor planning. Poor planning. Example, Simon Ekpa. All this.
Since you have a call, it's interrupted the volume. Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for that. Okay. Okay, please just round off. You wanted to round off. Okay, please. Let's hear you.
Yes, all these social media feed marshals, they're not going to bring us Biafra. They're not going to get us our destination. So, but real serious minds need to come together. And we're not going to plan out deals over the social media. We need to go inside the situation room and plan out things. We need to bite, sting like mad bees. We need to bite, sting like mad scorpion. Then,
thank you.
Yes.
I think the word is enough. The word is enough. Thank you so much. You just made me remember before Pastor Livingstone comes on. You just made me remember when I was in primary school too. I was actually bullying until one day I was thrown down by somebody, and that was the end. Okay. Oh my God. Pastor, please go on. All right.
Thank you, Biafran. Please
you.
Listen to me. It is nothing personal. When Simon Ekpa worked very well with all his heart, we gave him all of our time, 100%. When we realized he was missing it, we tried to reach out to talk to our brother. He refused and took the wrong way. So Biafra is above any man. It's about our nation. It's about our people. It's about our future, generations unborn. It's about laying a good foundation, bequeathing generations unborn, a wonderful legacy, heritage and inheritance that will bless them. Someday when they come to our grave, they will plant a flower on our grave and thank God that he raised people like us at this time. So don't take offense. Don't carry all of your life and hinge it on one man. The only man you can hinge your life on is Jesus Christ. Every other person will die, including myself, someday, including yourself. So I appeal to you, Biafrans. Leave sentiments aside. This race is like a marathon race. When you cover your own 100 meters, you give to the next person. Ojukwu ran, handed the baton to Peter Obi. Peter Obi ran the way he ran, and that person took it from him. Wazirike took his own banner. He didn't run very well. Nnamdi Kanu had to go back to pick it from Wazirike. And ran! As he was running towards the end, something happened. He gave it to Simon. And Simon began to run with such force. But halfway running, Simon began to lose distraction. He became distracted. So the banner has to be handed over to another person. I don't know whom that person is. It may be a group of people this time talking. It may not be just one person. But don't look at it because of your love for Simon. You allow yourself to be thrown into the abyss. You can help him by telling him to. I believe in my heart, in the very depth of my heart, if Simon Ekpa comes to himself today and says he's sorry, he wants us to help him get back to the track, we must get Biafra. If he does that, I believe people can come around him. He has to remove all these bad eggs so that we give him the big ideas we have, and then we move on to get Biafra. Remember, when he moved on fine, the whole of Nigeria was shaking. This time, they don't take him seriously again. So, but if he refuses, God will raise another person. It's not me. I'm not interested in leading Biafra. I'm interested in standing by the side as a man of God, looking at the person who's leading. Now, oh, misbehave, go quiet the time. Things that Biafra needs for me. Let us put back Nnamdi Kanu's structure by getting all our men on ground together as one unit in love. Forget about everything. Bring our men back as one. Number two, work towards the release of Onyendu. For when all of us work together as a team and we shout this time, Nigerians will hear it. And those people who have been running away will come up and join us to support us, see that we get Biafra. Once Onyendu comes out, we're getting Biafra. I believe that Onyendu will come out. I believe, I discussed it with Prince. I told him, Prince, this is my belief. Onyendu will come out. And I believe it will come out. Let us pray. Oh, in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, I pray.
Amen.
I pray that the God of heaven will show Biafrans mercy.
You say?
That God will give us understanding and knowledge.
That
God will make us fear him and do his will. That everything Nnamdi Kanu said and taught our people, that we will implement it in the unity of purpose. I pray that God will take away from us selfishness, ambition, anger, offense. I pray that all our focus should be to the actualization of Biafra and nothing else. I pray that God will eliminate inside the whole structure of Biafra, whether in DOS, IPOB, or amongst us accountability group, every bad egg or rotten apple, may God remove them entirely, and give us again that same one united spirit we had under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and when Simon Ekpa started early. I pray that God will open the eyes of Simon Ekpa to understand that nobody hates him, nobody is against him. It is just that his eyes should be open to understand that he's making a mistake, so that he should return to the track that God told him to move from the beginning, so that the glory shall come. And I pray that the goodness and the mercy of God shall touch every true Biafran, that they shall live to see the day of the liberation of Biafra very soon. In the name of Jesus. God will give us wisdom and understanding to be able to look and process information very well before we take decision, so that we don't walk as fools, but we walk as wise, because the days are evil. Thank you, Father, for this wonderful program. I give you glory and praise. Lord, we just adore you and appreciate you for your love. In the name of your Son, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Thank you all. Thank you, Biafrans. Share this podcast on all your social media platforms. Let people listen to this gospel of truth and begin to amend their ways. The reason for and the purpose for this broadcast is to sensitize Biafrans, to get you to understand what is happening and to put you on the right track and get you to be focused on what we're doing. And that is why this broadcast have come to you. And we tell you, assure you, if you can go by the dictates of what you have heard and allow yourself to dwell on the path of constructive reasoning, you will discover that you will actually get yourself set for the truth, which will set you free and make you free. Thank you all for watching. Please share on all your social media platforms. Get people to listen to this and join us again as we come your way tomorrow or so. And we're going to be here to say more and to talk more and to give you the right roadmap that will help you to achieve Biafra, so that you don't get yourself hoodwinked and deceived and plunged into the cagey, dingy dungeon of evil, deceit, and all of that stuff. We want Biafra. We want Mazi Nnamdi Kanu freed. We want our men united, and we want our freedom. Thank you all. I appreciate you all. Thank you all. Soronadi, thank you so much for being here, for giving your time and all of that so much at all times. Thank you so much, Prince. Thank you so much, Ken. Thank you so much, Fact News. Thank you so much, Pastor Mika. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you all. We love you all. Continue to stay and expect and always reason with your senses and not with your emotions, so that you can get on the right path of truth. Thank you all. We appreciate you. Good day and enjoy the rest of the day. And good night to those who are going to sleep tonight. And God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you.